Ahoy everyone, it's me, your Captain Vasco, and I'm here for a very special Core 19 Quick Draft. Can you explain to them why it's special, Tech?
Because I am
Oh,
here.
that was good.
Ew.
Yeah, it's gonna seem really loud, probably.
All right.
This is our
Wait.
existence.
Yep. Wait. Hold on. Hold on.
Don't know.
There we go.
I feel like that was genuinely less disruptive to the audio file than you doing it,
Then
which is
making
hilarious.
mouth noises.
Yeah, which
That's pretty
like doesn't
funny.
actually make sense to me, but I guess should make sense to me.
Yeah.
This is assuming that we don't drop so many frames that the world ends tonight. This will probably be going up on the Renegade Constabulary channel. So, as a brief introduction, it's me, Vasco. If you tune into my twitch.tv/Vasco the Gamer channel, usually Wednesdays and Saturday nights, you can see my dumb face. And on Wednesdays, I tend to be drafting Magic the Gathering, because I like this game quite a bit, which you've probably gathered by all the Magic references you don't understand in our normal Renegade Constabulary videos.
Hashtag Tarfire your wall of hope.
Yes, hashtag Tarfire your wall of hope. So this month, I've made it into a whole month spectacle of mostly technical issues for myself, but I have had the
Yeah.
affiliate status here on Twitch for a year now, and so I've been doing a bunch of special stuff, and Tech agreed to try and come on and do a Magic draft with me, because he's also a fan of Magic the Gathering, but doesn't play nearly enough.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so anything you would like to say as preface before we get going?
Haggis is mentioning that we apparently did a professor only LA stream, LA Noir stream. I don't remember doing that.
Uh, I
Is that
remember we
real?
did a thing for April Fool's Day, which might have been a stream, where
Mm.
we started playing LA Noir, and then we like left to go talk to your Argentinian landlord, and then she had to like play the game by herself, and was I think mostly running the car into a wall. So her gameplay was like indistinguishable from me playing LA Noir,
Right.
hilariously.
This is very familiar now. All right. Well, let's jump into it,
Yeah,
shall we?
let's get going. So, assuming I've reset this correctly, we're here. Hi. I'm up in the corner. One of these days I'm going to do green screen, but it's not happening today.
Mm.
Also worth noting that the Deck Master extension, which allows people on the stream to like hover their mouse over cards and like look at what they do in case you're not familiar with them, just got like a really major overhaul. So it went from having an interface that looked like it was designed in 1993 to something that looks like it was designed like maybe 2016. But of course, that means it's really likely not to work correctly. So, oh, there we go.
Mm.
Oh, Demolition, thank you for your tier 3 resub. And Alcadius for your tier 2 resub.
Mm.
Gonna fire a bunch of confetti cannons. And apparently also an angry Vasco holding a pirate sword because I accidentally clicked that in my fast window. Be back in an hour. Well, thank you for dropping by, Demolition, and thank you as always for your continued support of the channel. Well, that's right, Tech has the narwhal for now. That's great.
Oh yeah.
Game is not full screen. What do you mean the game is not full screen? My window shows it as full screen.
I think they may be referring to the fact that we can see like a very small portion of the edge, or is that maybe just
Oh, I
me
think
that can
that's
see that?
you in Discord. Can you confirm on Twitch? To me, it suggests it should look different.
To me, what I see is the game takes up most of the screen, and then your little side corner window is like
Oh, I think I
fifty
see.
percent on and 50%
Because it's
off the
dark, I wasn't
window.
noticing that. Let me try.
But I mean, it's kind of nice that way because you're obscuring less of the frame.
Yeah, but then like everything's still smaller overall. God,
Yeah, I guess that's true.
hey, you're a DP guy. Which of these is like a 16:9? Because I'm guessing they're not all. If this is a problem at all.
Math is hard. 1280 by 720 is obviously
Yeah, is
69. I
there
mean,
a
I could,
bigger one that isn't like full
uh,
screen? Because I don't want to do full
place.
screen. That creates a number of logistical problems.
1536 is also 16 by 9.
Which is?
1536.
Not that.
1530. What was the next
I
one?
think this looks correct. Yeah, that looks correct.
Yes.
Okay.
Maybe.
Yeah. Also, just
Yeah, that's right.
because it's a just a comedy of errors, there was a relatively major MTGA patch which defaulted the game back to full screen because I had previously done this calculation to set this up for previous streams, but I had to redo it today in addition to all the other things we had to do. So it's been a minor nightmare because these things stress me out tremendously. So let's play a game of Magic.
Wait, back up. You have an like a plugin that allows those of us on the stream to like roll over cards you're playing with and see what they are.
Yes.
That is a really crazy cool technology that I am excited to see.
It's remarkable that it exists already, but it's also remarkable to me that it took you like 3 minutes to ask that question. I'm gonna start.
Well, we were doing other stuff.
It's true.
So
it's true. I can pay for this in coins. Sure, I don't use coins for anything. Quick draft. We got a Gin of Wishes. Do you remember how much I loved Gin of Wishes when this card first came out? I was like...
I do not recall that.
I was like over the moon. I was like, look, this card grants you wishes! It's a hideous genie! I was really excited about this. It's also just like an incredibly strong limited card. It's a 5 mana 4/4 flyer with like huge upside. Like, it's hard to justify taking not it.
Rollover again? Oh wow, the rollover really does work in chat. That's so that was so cool. Sorry. Okay, so Gin of Wishes.
So it comes in with 3 counters. You can pay 4 mana to remove one of the counters, reveal the top card of your deck, and play it without paying its mana cost. But if you don't do that, it gets exiled forever.
We're not on a timer here, right? We can.
No, for this, this doesn't matter.
I'm cursing, by the way. I hope everyone's.
That's why we're putting on the Renegade Constabulary channel.
Yeah. Oh, this is so cool. I can like look at all the other cards. I was a little concerned about that.
Yeah. Well, on the bright side, it sounds like the Deckmaster extension's working.
It is. I mean, that's a damn good card.
There's nothing here that's close. So like I am not. My track record with M19 is not like incredible. Like I think I've been doing pretty good, but I find core sets tend to be more luck based, just because the common card quality is lower, so it matters more what your like rares and uncommons are. So if you happen to have a deck that's weighted towards commons, you kind of have to get luckier to draw your best stuff to win. Right. But like, it's
interesting. I will note. I don't know if you've noticed this, but when I roll over Colossal Dreadmaw here, in the stream, it looks like it's just a 6/6, and the only text on it says Trample. But when I roll over it,
does it show you the flavor text and the description of Trample?
Flavor text and what Trample means. Yeah. But it also changes the thumbnail. It like puts a thumbnail overlay on the card, so it doesn't just show me the larger card on the left, but it actually replaces what the stream shows with all that text in the body. It's a strange thing, but I guess it makes sense.
Also, going back to Haggis' question, I don't know why those are the only resolutions. They're super weird resolutions, but it's fine, we got there. But my previous point before we started talking about the interface, basically there's nothing in this pack that's particularly close to Gin of Wishes. There isn't even like a good common or uncommon removal. Like Sleep is pretty good, but it's also blue, and if I'm going to take a blue card, it's going to be this busted rare, so I'm taking this. Ooh, Switcheroo. It's a weird pack.
The only awkward thing about this is that there's a lag, so I can't actually see what any of the cards do until like we get to that part of the pack.
What, you haven't memorized Core 19? I feel like we talked about this.
Time when I could tell you what any card did just based upon the name and the art, but that time has passed.
I'm not sure I remember, like, there are definitely times when you would remember, like, most things about cards.
Yeah.
But, like, you were never, like, super competitive into Standard or anything. What is that?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're dropping some frames. It's fun.
Yeah, I'm seeing that. Switcher, good.
Yeah, Switcher was pretty good. Declare Dominance is also good. I tend not to love this card. It feels just like a little bit too situational.
Yeah.
Like,
that's not what you want.
I feel like my inclination is probably either take Switcheroo, which has relatively high upside, even though it has the cost of, like, you need to have something you can give them that's okay to give them, or I would take Electrify here at the bottom, because it's just solid removal. Like, it's just a 4 mana, deal 4 to a creature at instant speed.
Yeah. So, I should preface this whole thing by saying that I'm shit at draft. So
yeah, but the only way you get better at draft is to draft more.
Right. So, but I'm gonna give you advice, and you are should take it with a grain of salt. In
What's your
my opinion,
advice?
because we're already in blue, with one card theoretically.
Yeah.
I'm especially at the beginning of draft, but since we've already got a blue card we like and that we might want to play, and it's double blue, I feel as though taking the powerful blue card makes slightly more sense than straight up taking a removal spell. I mean, how highly do you value removal in this format? I think is my next and most important
Well,
question.
that's sort of a tricky question because there's like tiers of removal, more so than maybe like an ordinary like draft format. Because like this, so like Core 19 is supposed to be like super basic for babies.
Right,
So like mostly every color has like an uncommon removal spell that's like quite good, and then like
right.
two common removal spells. One of them is pretty good, and one of them is kind of garbage. Um,
Which would you put? Which under which column would you put electrify?
Electrify is like the good common red one. It's not the great red uncommon, which is lightning strike.
Hmm.
Um, so the trick is that like obviously yes, there's something to be said for staying in one color if we really want to play our first pick, but like you also sort of need to not overcommit. I mean, like it's really hard because signaling doesn't really make sense in Magic Arena because it's all like AI bots. Um,
Hmm.
so like basically my understanding of this, and it's not based on a lot of hard evidence, is that the like each of the AI bots like picks a color, and then that's just it. They just keep taking that color.
Oh, really?
It's something not extremely far off from that, from what I can tell. It's not super nuanced. Um, so like sometimes even though it seems like you're making the right picks, like the guy next to you's just decided to force this color, even though you're being like past good stuff in that color, and it doesn't make sense.
Hmm.
Um,
So what have you
that being
decided?
said, I think I'm going to take the Electrify. Switcheroo has proven to be kind of situational, and Electrify is like quite good. So like if it turns out that blue's not open, I'd rather have this. Also, it's like pretty
Yeah.
splashable, so I'm gonna take it. Ooh, Enigma Drake. Maybe we just do both. why,
There you go.
why not? Why not both? So like Bone Dash is like pretty good. It's not
I mean,
great.
counter spell for 4 seems high.
That's the
That's a
problem.
lot
It's
of
just
mana.
like a little expensive to hold it up and expect them to play into it. Like,
Even if it cantrips, that doesn't
yeah,
solve the problem of being that's the thing about counter spells is you have to leave that mana up, and so unless you're really deep into control, leaving up 4 every turn to be prepared
yeah.
seems like a
Well,
high
that's
cost to me.
why like if you're going to be doing that, you either try to like prioritize stuff like anticipate that if they don't play something you want to counter, you can like play for value at instant speed, or
Right,
like you just hold it up like once you've like played out most of your hand and stop them from gaining a foothold back in the game. Like Bone Ash is
right.
good. I think compared to like other people I know who are like pretty good, I like maybe underrate this card, but also like even though it's a little early to take a gold card, we already have good reasons to be in both blue and red. Enigma Drake has
Yeah,
been pretty good for me in this format so far. This will be like the third time I've drafted blue and red, but like it's not my fault I opened a Gin of Wishes and was past an Enigma Drake.
yeah.
Um, I mean, again, there's like not. It's weird. Like blue seems like it's open, judging from this pack. Like Dwindle's like the good blue common removal. Bone Dash
Mm.
is like pretty good. Anticipate's like not terrible, but it's not like a super high pick. And like Wall of Mist, I think I like a little better than other people too. Epicure of Blood is good because black and white have this life gain theme, and so if you
Mm.
just gain a little bit of life every turn, he does some like extra damage, and he's a 4/4 for 5, so it's like pretty good. Havoc Devils is okay. Bristling Boar's like pretty good. They're both 4 mana 4/4s. The Boar is a little easier to play and has like arguably
Mm.
better upside, and you know, but like
So, how early do you go into trying to pick low cost creatures? Because this is something I struggle with when I play Arena in Hearthstone a lot. Is
Well,
you need early game,
yeah.
right? And so do you just if you keep having bombs show
So
up
the problem
that all
is,
cost
it's really
sticks,
difficult
like
to compare the two, because
yeah,
in Hearthstone, like, the card pool is much larger. So, like, if you were to try and compare it, it's sort of like you open the 3 like Magic the Gathering packs you have and shuffle them all together and like randomly take stuff from there. Like, in a normal Magic draft, you like know what you can expect from each individual pack roughly. So like you
right,
know how highly you need to prioritize taking things in certain packs. So like for something like Core 19, you don't worry about that until you're like mid pack 2, unless individual picks give you a reason to do that. Like you see a good 4 drop and a good 2 drop, and you're like, well, what do I need more of?
right.
Like otherwise, like you're trying to stay open and take the best. I'm just gonna take Enigma Drake for the sake of moving this a little forward.
Yeah, no, this is that's definitely the right choice.
This pack is butts. I think I'm gonna have enough artifacts that I want to take the skilled animator. Pretty sure the answer is no.
I don't know what anything does yet. Hang on, we haven't gotten there in the video, so I can't. All right, now I can do it. When skilled animator enters the battlefield, target artifact you control becomes an artifact creature with base power 5/5 as long as the skilled animator remains on the battlefield. I mean, that seems good. I mean, we don't have any artifacts yet.
No, they're not like incredibly common in the set either. Like there's stuff like
right.
Explosive Apparatus, which is like you don't generally want to play this.
Right. Sure Strike seems pretty shitty.
It's not great. Abnormal Endurance is a little better than it looks. Most of the cards in this pack aren't great. Like Daggerback Basilisk is pretty good. It's just a Death Touch guy. Elvish Rejuvenator is like generally pretty good in the right deck, but like you kind of need to be a ramp.
Way overcosted for what it does.
Yeah, I am not a huge fan of this card.
It's too bad because the art is so fun.
Yeah, it's really cool.
And the name is great. Like
I know, I love the name. I hate the fact that the name is on such like a medium card.
Sucks. So what's your call? You're gonna go with skilled animator? I suppose that would be cool if you wheel an explosive apparatus or something like that.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, skilled animator is obviously a powerful effect, and there's a couple of artifacts that we would like definitely be happy to like take. I think the correct pick here is like Daggerback Basilisk. I think it's just the best card in the pack. You really don't want to commit too early. It's like one of the easiest things to do in Magic Draft.
Yeah, that was going to be my next question. So since we've chosen a red card, a blue card, and a red-blue card, are we not just all in on the red-blue situation now, or are we still hedging our...
I would say not yet, and primarily just because skilled animator is like a very niche card. Like this is meant for... There's a blue-white sort of artifact synergy thing. And so, we won't see a ton of other blue cards that will reward us for having artifacts unless we get, like, mythic rares.
Okay. So if that was either something that turned on Enigma Drake, or another burn spell, or another...
Yeah, if there was, like, Shock, which, like, isn't great in this format, but is, like, sort of a subpar removal spell, I'd easily take that.
Right. So you'd stay in the colors if it was, like, generally good, but because Skilled Animator is a little bit more narrow, you're not ready to commit.
No. So I'm going to take Daggerback Basilisk, because it's a pretty good card, and we don't know what the draft looks like yet.
Yeah. By the way, I've been carrying on a conversation with the professor here since she's
I'm not
around.
paying as much attention to chat as I generally am, and as I should.
It's all right. I'll keep going here. Yeah. They're all impressed with my multitasking.
Yes, I did see that much. You can verbally ping me if you see something that requires my attention, but since I'm now having a literal conversation and also drafting, it's taking most of my focus. This feels pretty easy to me.
All right, wait.
Yeah.
Let me try to figure it out. All right, so at the game line wave, Fountain of Renewal doesn't.
Fountain of Renewal is a pretty good artifact, just for the record.
I was just about to say Fountain of Renewal doesn't seem good by itself.
It's actually better than it looks by itself. There's enough like aggressive decks that randomly get hosed by you gaining a life a turn that like it can be really annoying.
Yeah, I guess I can see that. Like if somebody's got like a 1/1 on the board, then or a couple 1/1s.
The
one of
red-white deck in particular is like very powerful, but like at a certain point, like most of its creatures are like 1 or 2 power. So if you like it helps you stabilize earlier than you would otherwise.
Right. I mean, Evoke the Divine seems good for how much it costs, but I don't know if we're in that like sideboard territory yet.
Worth noting, because we're doing a quick draft for time purposes of your schedule primarily. We don't sideboard. There's no sideboarding in Quick Draft.
All right, so then I probably wouldn't take that card. Gallant Cavalry, 2/2 Vigilance for 4 is okay.
Also makes a 2/2 Vigilance.
Also gives you a 2. So that's damn good.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good.
I mean, 4/4, essentially 2 4/4s, 2 2/2s for 4 that have Vigilance seems decent to me.
I guess I'd like to see you multitask on 3 fronts. Tek and I are both doing it on 2. It works out better that way.
Knight of the Tusk is 3/7 for 5 with 6 with Vigilance. That doesn't seem very good to me. Great. Omen Speaker, a 1/3 for 2 is good when it enters the battlefield. Scry 2. That seems pretty decent, especially since we're already in blue.
Yeah.
A 2/3 for 3.
No abilities.
I love the art on this because it looks like someone like drew a magic card and then photoshopped their face onto the card.
Yeah, there's a couple cards that look like that now. That didn't really used to be a thing.
Yeah. 4/2 Menace for 4 is fine. Active Treason is always good.
All right. You got the right deck for it.
A 2/2 for 2 with Vigilance is pretty powerful. If we were green, I would definitely take it. If we were elves, I would absolutely take it.
Elves aren't really a thing. There's like an elf support card, but it's really bad.
I mean, that's a damn good. That if elves were a real thing, this would be an amazing card.
Pretty good.
I like it. And when Rock's Oracle enters the battlefield, draw a card. Like a 4/2 for 5 that draws you a card, I think is like fine.
Yeah. I'm actually impressed you got that read on it because I think it reads a little better than it is.
Yeah, I mean 5 is just a lot of mana to spend on a thing,
especially for something that trades for their like 2-drop or whatever.
Yeah, I mean I think anything that's 4 or less is just automatically better by being that it's not 5.
Yeah,
I feel like 5 is that threshold where you're starting.
Yeah, 5 and 6 you have to be a little bit more careful about how many and the quality of the ones you're putting in. So what's your verdict on the pack then?
I mean, it's either Omen Speaker or Gallant Cavalry, I guess. Yeah. Omen Speaker because we're in that color, and Scry 2 seems good for a 1/3, and Gallant Cavalry just seems really powerful.
My read on it, having a little bit more familiarity with the format, is like this feels like an easy Omen Speaker to me because not only is 1/3 like decent for 2, and the Scry 2 upside is surprisingly important. This card has been like amazing for me in the past, but also like even though you're getting like essentially like 4/4 Vigilance from Gallant Cavalry, like they're both 2/2s. So like things like 1/3 stop them more easily. So it's not quite as good as it looks because there are a lot of random like decent blockers like Omen Speaker. Yeah. But also, as you say, it's in our colors and it's quite good. So I'm gonna take it.
I mean, I think just looking at that pack alone is a good indication of why 3 toughness is really can make a difference.
Yeah.
Because if you look at like Tolarian Scholar or Gallant Cavalry, or Greenwood Sentinel, like having that one extra power, like makes it.
Yeah, totally.
Obviously. All right, what do we got here?
We have an extremely medium pack.
Well, if you had taken that other blue guy that cared about artifacts, then Scholar of Stars would have been fun.
True, although I personally have found Scholar of Stars to mostly be a card that you cut if you have other 4-drops in your pile at the end of the draft.
Oh yeah, I guess it does cost 4.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah. If it was like a 4-mana 3/3 that did that, I think it'd stick around a lot more.
I mean, Smelt is shit. Like I said, Active Treason is fine.
Yeah. Stitcher Supplier's garbage. Don't even bother reading it. It's like super terrible. It's like mill yourself and then mill yourself some more.
I mean, Abnormal Endurance seems weird. I don't even know what that card is for.
It's like a combat trick that can instead save your guy from a removal spell sometimes. It's pretty good.
Yeah, but like it doesn't do either of those very well.
I guess thank you for gifting a tier 1 sub to Professor McGonagall so that she can also have a tiny narwhal.
Professor!
Everyone,
now you have a narwhal.
Everyone, please greet the professor
narwhal.
and her new narwhal with a volley of confetti cannons.
Oh right, wait, we gotta lift confetti cannons. Yay! It really bothers me that you have to hit enter after typing all those.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
You can also, as a shortcut, you can click on the little like face in the like text box, and it will like shortcut you to like the channel emotes you have access to. So then you just click.
No, I've been doing that, and I click it a bunch. And you have to go back, and then I don't know, for some reason
I mean, you can like click the chat button. I guess that's what I do, but it's still an extra step, and I see your point.
Yeah.
Boy, that was a pain to do in mobile. Yeah, no doubt. I found that they've silently like They've silently tried to like upgrade the technology of gifting people subs over time so that it's like easier to do just like casually.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? The easier for them to get money.
Well, yeah,
out of
that's
you,
the
the
thing.
better.
It's like they keep acting like, "Ooh, look what we did for you," but it's like, no, clearly you just want people to like accidentally give you money.
I gotta say this whole like roll over a card and get and see its text feature is like the
It's
coolest
like
fucking thing.
it's sorcery. I genuinely like. I thought maybe after
like
like 2 years they'd have this working, but after like a couple of months of this being in beta, someone made this.
Yeah, it's amazing.
I'm gonna take the Act of Treason. For me, this pack is between Act of Treason, which is like pretty good but not amazing in like this color combination, or Meandering River to try and stay open for white.
I was gonna say, like, is Meandering River like a decent
It's a real pick here. It definitely is. In fact, I think the dual lands. No. The dual lands are a little bit more uncommon. They're printed with the common symbol, but they don't show up in every pack, and they don't technically show up at common rates. They're closer to uncommon rates. The Act of Treason is something we could probably get one of later. Meandering River, in case we get some like crazy thing. I think it's just like a better pick. It's pretty close though.
I wish Act of Treason was... What's that other card that's just better Act of Treason?
Slave of Bolus?
No.
Grab the Rain with Entwine?
Yes, I love that card so much. I wish it was that.
Like Slave of Bolus is Grab the Reins with Entwine, but without the damage part. It just sacrifices it at end of turn.
I mean, that's fine too. Yeah. Like, just being able to like it's a kill spell and it's a control spell. Like,
well, that's the thing. The black-red archetype in this format has like incidental creature sacrifice, so like it's better in that color combination because you have outs to doing that. You like take their thing and then eat their thing, and maybe hit them with it in between, depending on what you got.
I can hear an ice cream truck from here. It sounds like happiness, even though I've already eaten some ice cream. Don't tell the professor.
Ooh, Haggis got the Cinnabon Oreos. Is that different from the... I think I've just had, like, Cinnamon Bun Oreos.
Sounds so gross.
Cinnamon Bun Oreos are pretty good. I don't think I've had Cinnabon ones. I've had all kinds of weird Oreos, and several of them are gross.
So what do you take here? This feels like a hard choice to me.
Yeah, I think this is pretty close. So, like, Anticipate and Disperse are both real cards. It's likely between them because we're already largely in blue, and most of the rest of these cards aren't very good anyway. Disperse has a little bit of extra value because there's an Auras heavy deck. It doesn't show up terribly often, but it's like really good against that, and sometimes like other decks will sort of splash into one of the Auras to fill out their curve or something.
Right.
Meanwhile, Anticipate's just like a good early play to like ensure that your draws aren't stupid, and that can be like really valuable in this format.
Yeah, I mean, and it's not terrible late game either, because if you're in a situation where you're like, I'm drawing nothing but land, I need something here, like that could really get you there.
Yeah, I think this is pretty close. I think they're both like relatively easy to come by, but I think I'm generally happier to have like 2 Anticipates and a Disperse than the other way, so I think I'm going to take the Anticipate here, but again, it's pretty close.
Yeah, I mean, Disperse is pretty powerful. It's obviously better if you have, like, counterspells or something, because then you can...
Right, yeah, exactly. You get maximum value out of both, because you can hold up the counterspell when you need it, and then draw cards when you don't. This is pretty easy. Again, most of these cards aren't great. Like, Plummet's like a good sideboard card for green, but there's also no sideboarding in Quick Draft. Everything else is like pretty medium. The Frilled Sea Serpent, like, I think I like this more than most people. It's expensive. It's a 6-mana 4/6, and for 7 mana it can be unblockable. But let me tell you, there's a good number of games where this randomly threatens lethal, and it's stupid.
Yeah.
So like,
I mean, it solves the problem of getting flooded, and it's good in a control deck if you are leaving a ton of mana up.
It's like a perfectly serviceable finisher for a blue control deck. So like, if we don't get a bunch of like premium finishers like Gin of Wishes, then we still have more than one way to win the game when we need to.
Yeah, that seems like the right call.
So like, Ajani's Welcome is kind of interesting. It's a 1-mana enchantment that gains you a life whenever you put a creature on the field. If we were anywhere near the life gain deck, I'd consider it, but it hasn't seemed like that's very open, and we're not currently in that color.
Yeah, there was another one in our first pack, but I don't think we.
In fact, this
like it.
Yeah, this is in fact our first pack. That is the one you saw before.
Oh,
that part of the draft is preserved so far in Arena.
Okay.
But yeah, so basically, I would describe this as a good pickup for white, but not a reason to be white. So I'm going to take another Anticipate, even though this is already like probably as many Anticipates as I need, and we're in the first pack.
Yeah, so how decent is life gain in this format? Because I sort of came up in this game being taught by you guys that unless you're like doing a build around like life gain, just like
well, it's a little more complicated than that. I mean, like that's the thing people tend to tell newer players because there's this weird human tendency to overvalue life gain. It's
yeah, like
more...
when I first started playing, I was like, oh, you gain a life? That means you like undo all the work everyone else is doing. Like that seems really powerful.
I think it's more accurate to say that like life gain is bad if you have to jump through hoops for it. Like creatures with lifelink tend to be pretty good. Like something like the Fountain of Renewal, you just play it one time and then it gains you life every turn. Like you don't have to invest a lot into it. Plus, it also has the ability to sacrifice that artifact to draw a card if you don't need the life gain or if you do need to draw a card.
Right. Well, but I mean, that's like life gain plus other things. It's not just like
right.
Like the Adamani card is literally just like gain a life when you play a thing.
Yeah.
Like that's literally all it does.
Right. So something like that is generally pretty bad unless you have like payoffs for it, because it doesn't. So what do you think? Because you're going out of your way for it. Because you're spending your whole card on just gaining life in small quantities.
Right. All right, so Anake Ogre or Scholar of Stars?
Or potentially this land, although I think we're a little further off black-white. But admittedly, blue-black-white is often a pretty good control deck. Onake Ogre is generally pretty bad, especially in decks that aren't naturally aggressive, which currently our deck doesn't look like. And so far we have no artifacts. So even though, like, yeah, these both seem like real picks, I still think I'm going to take the land here. Just to have some outs to, like, I don't know, getting Chromium the Mutable. We haven't seen a lot of red, keep in mind.
Do you want a third Anticipate?
No, but I'm reasonably happy to have Wall of Mist. It does seem like we're probably blue, but red is up in the air, despite the fact that these are both legit.
Lava Axe?
We'll take the Lava Axe, but it's not going to be good in this deck. I don't think we're close to Tranquil Expanse being useful. Normal Endurance is like a vague consideration, but like at least Lava Axe is a sorcery in case we end up heavy on Enigma Drakes or something. Right. The sideboard card I can't use. The slightly less bad zombie. Sure, someone gave me Bog Stomper over basic land.
Great.
Ooh, it's Sai, Master Thopterist, and a Hieromancer's Cage. Well, this is going to be a hard one. And Meteor Golem.
I haven't gotten there yet. Hang on. I can't read any of these cards. There's another Omen Speaker, but I'm guessing that's not what we're taking.
Probably not our pick. Well, I would say definitely not our pick based on, if nothing else, like, Meteor Golem's a great, like, pack one, pick one, because it's colorless, it destroys any permanent, and gives you a 3/3. It's expensive, but pretty much any deck is willing to play it.
Yeah. And just Battlefield destroy target non-land permanent. That seems good.
It's definitely good.
Oh, it costs 7, though.
It's still good. I promise.
I mean, I believe you. Yeah, I mean, I would be great if we were in that artifact deck.
Yeah. I mean, did you look at the rare yet?
Sai is the rare.
Oh, I thought you were looking at Meteor Golem.
No. I switched from Meteor Golem to say that Sai is...
Oh, I thought you were saying Meteor Golem would be good because it's an artifact. And then I'm like, have I got news for you? Our rare is also taunting us for not being in the artifact deck.
Yeah, I feel like we made bad choices here.
But the thing is, like, the only like reasonable card to take from last pack would have been the Fountain of Renewal. It's not like we had like Manolith or the Gargoyle that's pretty good. Like the few artifacts we saw, not even like Marauder's Axe, which we have in this pack. Like this card's decent. It's like a very medium equipment, but like medium equipment's pretty good in this kind of format.
I really like the art on Meteor Golem.
Yeah, I know. It's awesome.
So the question now is, do you take Sai and move into the artifact deck, or do you take Meteor Golem because it's just
that's more or less the question. I mean, the thing is, like, Sai being a 3-mana 1/4 with, like, mild upside is still pretty good, even if we don't end up heavy in that color. But it has some pretty good upside if we find some things like Sky Scanner, the 3-mana, like, 1/1 flyer that draws us a card, or Manolith, or all those other things, Fountain of Renewal. There is also some consideration, I think, to Hieromancer's Cage. It's basically Oblivion Ring.
Yeah.
Which, even at 4 mana, is quite good and limited. It's tough.
It's a more expensive Oblivion Ring.
Yeah.
That's literally all it is.
Yeah.
I'm sad that they printed this card.
I mean, these things happen a lot in limited. Like, think about how few burn spells there would be if that didn't happen.
Alright. Well, I would take the Meteor Golem. The Meteor Golem's just generically good. It doesn't lock you into anything. If you die and then you like never draw an artifact that you like, then you've just got this stupid 1/4.
I mean, he's not terrible as a 1/4, although I do think I agree with you. If White had seemed more open in the last pack, I would give more consideration to Hieromancer's Cage because it's very good. But like, Meteor Golem does something very similar. We can remain open for now. It makes me sad to pass Psy Master Thopters just because I like this card. Because it's just a guy who makes Thopters. But I think the correct pick is Meteor Golem.
He's just he's literally a late game answer to fucking anything.
Pretty much. There's a Dwindle. There's also a Spark Tongue Dragon. 5 mana, 3/3 flyer that basically has you can pay 3 when it comes into play to deal 3 to a thing.
I mean, that's in the same direction as Meteor Golem.
It is, but we have like a removal spell here, and I would argue that we're still not really committed to a second color yet, or close to it, because like this is the first good red card we've seen since like pack, like pick 4 of pack 1.
How strong is red in this format?
It's medium, I think. I think it's like right at sort of the middle. It kind of depends on the cards you get. Like, if we were to get more, like, burn spells, like, blue-red could be very good. But, like, I don't know. I haven't seen a lot of compelling reasons to be any color other than blue. But blue, I feel like we're definitely at least blue. Which is good, because I've done a number of drafts where I'm, like, at the end of pack 2, and I'm like, I don't know what colors we are.
Yeah.
Literally, last week, hashtag dating this episode, I was blue-green, and then opened Nicol Bolas the Ravager in pack 3, and made a Grixis deck. It wasn't good, but we won 3 matches.
Hey, good for you.
I feel like this is an easy Dwindle.
All 3 of those matches.
What's that?
Did you draw Nicol Bolas in all 3 of those matches?
No, I think we only drew him in 2, surprisingly.
Yeah, Dwindle seems good here. I mean, I think it's either Dwindle or the Dragon.
Yeah, I think it's Dwindle or the Dragon, and the fact that this is double red, technically triple if you want to activate it, like, I think Dwindle's just a much safer pick.
Yeah, I was gonna say, since it's double red, that's like a little bit too heavy.
Vigilant Bailoff is very good. 5 mana, 5/5 Vigilance? I mean, it doesn't have any other text, but that's good.
I love the art.
I know, right? Hi!
He is studying to be an opera singer. Hello!
So, like, here's my thing. This pack is pretty weak. We got, like, a bunch of, like, sideboard cards and niche cards, and Reliquary Tower I'd love to open in paper, but only open them online. I think legitimately the only, like, real picks here are, like, Manolith, which we don't have a lot of incentive to really be playing multiple colors yet, or Vigilant Bailoff, which is, like, super much stronger than every other card in this pack. So I'm gonna take it.
Nice. It's a little weird that, like, hate drafting isn't a thing in this format. I keep thinking about it and then realizing that it's not.
I mean, generally speaking, hate drafting isn't a great practice anyway, but...
Yeah, but if you're in a pack and have no idea what the fuck to do...
Yeah.
Like, sometimes...
I mean, you can still default to just taking the thing you want for your collection.
Yeah.
So, like...
Lightning?
We got a dragon again. We have Lightning Bear, which is a double red mana 3/1 that can't be countered or blocked by blue creatures, and can have its power increased for 2 mana. I don't think this card's great. It dies to everything.
Yeah, that's true.
Skymarch Bloodletter's, like, pretty good. Black hasn't seemed open, like, at all, though. Like, neither direction have we seen, like, basically any black.
Yeah. I mean, there's Meandering River.
There is Meandering River, but again, like, I mean, Take Vengeance is here. It's like a removal spell. It's the bad white removal spell. It's a real consideration. But I feel like if I was gonna take something kind of speculative, I probably rather have the Spark Tongue Dragon. I don't want it.
Well,
really.
So how do you feel about being blue-red? Do you feel good about that, or are you like, I'd rather
The
be...
thing is, like, right now, we're still at a point where, like, our pile has some incentives to be blue-red. Like, they're pretty good incentives. Giant Spider's not, like, a great reason to be in green. I've fallen for this trap a lot of times, where it seems like that's a solid green common. And then my deck contains 3 Giant Spiders and is terrible.
Yeah.
I mean, we could also just take the cancel, is an option.
Yeah, that was going to be my next question.
I guess there's also the Manolith. I was gonna say, like, I was literally about to say out loud, I kind of wish the Manolith was in this pack, but there's literally a different Manolith in this pack, and I could simply take it.
Yeah.
I mean, I could take the Manolith and go into whatever color I think is open and splash the Electrify, potentially.
Does it work the same way where you have different colors for different packs? You know what I mean? Like,
it tends to. It's not as clear as it generally is in paper, but, like, you tend to notice trends of colors. Like, we're not seeing as much blue going this way, so we should be seeing something else seem open. And, like, maybe it's red, but it's, like, really specific red that doesn't go well with what we have already. Also, that Vigilant Bale is a weird outlier so far. I think I'm going to take the Manolith, because we have some expensive things, it ramps towards them and it lets us splash. There's other good cards in this pack, but, like, none of them says that, like, they're the right pick over everything else.
Yeah.
Look at all these Spark Tongue Dragons. This is the sort of thing I feel like happens a lot on Arena and not very often in paper, and I don't know why. But, like, you'll keep seeing, like, this starts to feel like red must be open. Look at all these Spark Tongue Dragons. But that'll, like, be the only red card you see this whole pack. So your deck is either, like, 6 Spark Tongue Dragons or no Spark Tongue Dragons. It's weird.
How do you feel about the Ashino Pyromancer in being that we don't have a lot of cheap, like, early...
I only really like it in the red-white deck. It's the only deck I feel like applies enough pressure that the 2-1 body is relevant. I like the card in a vacuum, because I like 2-1 with the upside of just doing some extra damage. Like, it feels really good. I think here I would just take this artifact card and maybe stay open to eventually ending up in artifacts.
Alright.
Because, like, we could take Wall of Mist. You don't need, like, a ton of them. Like, they're good against some things and real not useful against others. Nothing else here is great. Spark Tongue Dragon's okay, but I still don't really see any reason that I want to commit to, like, triple red. And, like, as we've discussed, Rock's Oracle, like, isn't amazing. Even though we, like, have some reason to be green. So I'm just going to take this.
I do feel like we've seen some decent white stuff, so white may be...
There's Dwindle and Snapping Drake.
I mean, Snapping Drake is good, isn't it?
It's pretty good. It's not as good as it often is in this format. God, I really gotta, like, find this other color. Or just, like, get a really good blue pack 3.
Yeah.
Despite the fact that we're kind of low on creatures, I still think Dwindle's probably best here.
What about Aviation Pioneer? That gives you an artifact and another body, and it's...
It's okay. I don't feel like its power is, like, equal to the Dwindle, which is, like, a fairly good removal spell. Also, currently, like, we only have, like, one thing that actually cares about us having artifacts, and we're not close to being sure we're playing it.
Alright, Dwindle it is, then.
Take the Dwindle. I don't know. Take, like, the Woodland Stream in case we decide we want to be green. Because Ghost Form, we're not playing Ghost Form. I'm gonna pinky promise you right now, we're not playing Ghost Form even if we get one.
Yeah.
Inspired Charge also doesn't seem like it would be great in our deck, even if we ended up in blue-white. If we were, like, super hurting for playables, maybe we would take, like, a generic 3-drop in the form of Hired Blade or Loxodon Linebreaker. But, like, black doesn't really seem open. I don't want this zombie.
I think Woodland Stream is the option.
I think it's the pick. It's not an exciting pick.
Yeah, we've definitely seen a lot less blue this pack.
Yeah, I mean, you would expect it. It's weird that last pack had, or the one before the last pack had so much blue in it for how late it was. I guess it's just Onake Ogre for the sake of trying to have playables. Like, Wall of Vines is also not a green card we'd be playing if we were playing green.
Right.
Just like 5-color good stuff? No. Yeah, actually, Scholar seems pretty legit here, considering how like few creatures we have. Like, we now have like a couple of artifacts and could maybe end up with more. I'm not excited to play this, but if I don't have the 4 drops to cut it, then I'll play it.
Yeah.
Sure Strike's okay in red-blue. Totally Lost is like kind of mediocre in blue everything. It's just so expensive. The ability to put a card on top of the other player's library is pretty good, but like
it gets rid of a thing and fucks with their tempo.
Yeah, it like steals their draw sort of, because they can't be drawing like a different thing to answer their problem.
Right, that's what I mean by fucking with their tempo. I mean, Catalyst Elemental.
Oh, it's so bad.
All right, ignore me then.
No, it might actually be correct. We're like low on creatures. Plus, we could use it to like accelerate out like Meteor Golem. I don't like it, but I don't like anything in this pack.
So it's a 2/2 for 3, which is pretty.
It's bad in this format. It's pretty bad.
But I mean, coupled with.
I mean, like, here's the thing. If I'm in red, I think I need a creature more than I need Sure Strike. And, like, just Totally Lost, I'm almost definitely going to cut from my deck. And even if I won't one, I bet I can get it next pack. Yeah, right. I think I like your pick, even though I don't like your pick at all. Taking the Reliquary Tower. Cancel's legit. I will probably play this cancel. I'm taking the Reliquary Tower.
Do you get to keep all these cards?
Yeah, they go into your arena collection.
That's cool.
Forest. Enjoy your roll of value. Oh, look, we got Ghost Form. Oh, it went in the sideboard. Oh, we got Patient Rebuilding. Well, we're fine. We're good. Please read the card.
What does that do? What does that do? Hold on. Let's see if I can get to it in the thing here.
It's pretty insane. People who've been watching all of our Magic or all of my Magic streams will have seen me take this and underrate it, and then be like, "Wow, if we just draw this every game, we win."
It's not showing up in the like list of cards that you've gotten, so I can't. Oh, here we go. At the beginning of your upkeep, target opponent puts the top 3 cards of their library into their graveyard. Then you draw a card for each land card put in the graveyard this way. I would undervalue that. You think that's really good?
It's insane. Like, I thought it'd be okay, but it's nuts. I mean, first off, it's a 1-card win condition, because your deck, once you draw your 7 cards, your deck starts at 33.
Yeah, okay, alright. So my initial reaction was, it costs a lot of mana. Oh, you haven't taken it yet. No. Okay, that's why I couldn't find it.
I will take it from this pack. I mean, Murder's in this pack, and it's great. So is Herald of Faith. But I will take the Patient Rebuilding. It's not close.
No, it's... I get it.
Actually, like, all of the uncommons are insane. Like, if this was... If someone else took the Patient Rebuilding from this pack, and this was our pick 2 at the start of the draft, I'd be like, I don't know what to do here.
Yeah. Yeah, alright.
But, like, not only is this, like, a 1-card win condition, but, like, it also just draws you a ton of cards. Like, it's just insane. Yeah. Also, hilariously, I think the last time I had Patient Rebuilding, I also had Gin of Wishes. This is a little weird. We could take our 3rd Dwindle, which seems a little better when we have the win condition of Patient Rebuilding. But we also have, like, Aerial Engineer. Now... we don't have a lot of artifacts yet, and it's not extremely likely that we'll get a lot of them.
What do we have in white that would be like good to play with our blue-white deck?
Aether Shield Artificer.
Yeah, I feel like it's a little too late.
Yeah, it's probably a little late to seriously consider that.
Like, unless we opened like a bonkers white rare, like I feel like moving into white.
I mean, if we had just like incidentally come across a little bit more infrastructure for that deck, I'd be more into taking this. But
yeah,
it's probably not realistic to like. Green, I think, is still a vague possibility. It seems like we're basically just going to be mono blue, and that's fine. But I think the fact that we will probably be mono blue incentivizes me to take the Dwindle because I won't have a lot of other removal.
Yeah. I can get behind that.
Ooh, Sift. Oh, Sift is really good with Patient Rebuilding. Or no. No, I'm thinking of the there's a mill uncommon that triggers on your draws.
What does Sift do?
It draws 3 cards and discards 1 for 4. It's definitely a good card, and it's probably the thing we should take.
I mean, totally lost his shit. We've already talked about that. We're definitely not playing heroic.
Yeah, but that card's insane.
It looks decent.
It's even probably better than it looks.
I can see that. I mean, we've already talked about Pashino Pyromancer. Bargant Brute is, I mean, 3/2 menace for 3 is like fine.
It's pretty good.
Especially if you were aggressive.
Yeah, it's more of an aggressive card. Our deck isn't really looking to do that, or I think it'd be a closer pick.
It seems like the really obvious choice. If we're like mostly blue.
Yeah. We're blue, like... and with Patient Rebuilding and Djinn of Wishes and like Meteor Golem, I think our deck definitely wants to be slow. So like this card seems great for us. Oh look, it's a blue mythic. We should totally play the card Omniscience. It costs 7 blue, 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 and then you could cast spells from your hand without paying their mana costs. Done.
That's a card, alright.
It's a card that exists. This is actually kind of tough.
Fiery Finish?
Maybe it's Fiery Finish? Yeah, I think it's between Fiery Finish and Omen Speaker. I think we're definitely most likely to be red splash blue.
You mean blue splash red?
Yeah, blue splash red, rather. And that's like one of the only like lands we don't have something for. So it's
Omen Speaker is just like, the more I look at it, the more I like it.
I like the card a lot. I'm leaning Omen Speaker despite the fact, like, I've also, Fiery Finish hasn't impressed me a ton. It is a good answer in the sense that it kills mostly anything, but it's a sorcery and it costs 6. There's a lot of times it's just too slow.
If it was an instant, it would be
if it was an instant, it'd be like a ton better.
But I think Omen Speaker is the right choice. Yeah. Because, like, just with the deck that we're playing, and again, I don't play a lot of blue, so I'm not...
Yeah, I know. I'm actually... you haven't really tipped your hand much for the fact that you really don't know blue that well. I feel like you've mostly evaluated stuff appropriately.
Well, just from watching other people play blue, I feel like anything you can do in blue that lets you control your draw is super powerful. So, like, anything that cantrips and anything that scries, that kind of shit can be.
Well, I think it's also really like worth noting that, like, in a deck like this, that's just like, if we get Patient Rebuilding, we probably win. The ability to like dig 2 cards deeper or find what we need to turn our hand on can be really strong.
And in addition to all of that, you have a 1/3 body, which can block most.
Yeah, which is super relevant against a lot of these decks. Like, I think it's tough. My inclination is also Omen Speaker, but I think that's a pretty close one. Green's kind of open.
If we draw another fucking Totally Lost, I'm gonna...
Dude, you will see like 15 Totally Lost whether or not you're in blue every draft. People have gotten wise to the fact it's not as good as it seems like it should be, even though it doesn't seem great to begin with.
It's been in almost every single pack.
I know.
Wow.
Oh, Haggis says he's been told he has a 1/3 body. I haven't seen him at the beach, so I won't comment. I think we just take the Instigator for some chump block action. Like, nothing else in this pack is like going in our deck.
It's a 2/2 for 2 and gives you chump blockers. Seems good. Let's go with it.
Surge Mare. Wow, that's a late Surge Mare. I'm pretty happy about that.
I can't read it, but I'm sure it's good. Can't be blocked by green.
Hold on. Read the creature line first. It's the most important part of this card.
It's a horsefish.
It's a horsefish.
It's a seahorse. Mm-hmm. It's like a royal seahorse. Mm-hmm. You can make it a 2/3.
Or a 4/1.
Or a 4/1 if you're real cool.
It's relevant.
And if you do discard a card...
Yeah, it's the looter effect.
Alright, I was skipping text. Yeah, seems great. I mean, it seems better than Tolarian
It's also like
Scholar.
a 2-mana 0/5 that our deck is going to have enough islands we'll probably be able to play this on too a lot of the time. Like,
yeah, I mean, that soaks up damage right there.
This card's like great for our deck.
I think the professor...
One with the machine. We can draw cards equal to the highest converted mana cost among artifacts we control. If we're a real cool guy, we could draw 7 off Meteor Golem and mill ourselves.
You should have gone with that fucking artifact deck. It would be so...
It would. That's the thing that kills me is, like, so often it seems like that, but, like, in this particular case, because we've been, like, looking at it all along, it's, like, really clear that if we had tried to do that, it would have been awful. This seems like a really easy Frilled Sea Serpent, although I don't know that we actually need another one. I'm just not taking that Totally Lost, and I'll still probably end up with one by the end of the draft. Ooh, hey, disperse. We didn't end up with another one of those, so sweet.
Love it.
We could take the millstone.
Oh, and really just lean really into patient rebuilding.
Yeah, but I don't think that's good. As much as I would like for that to be good.
I see that in a constructed deck, but not in a
Millstone is just so clunky. There's a blue enchantment that says whenever you draw a card, mill them for 2. And if I saw that in this pick, I'd take it over Disperse pretty easily. But
I just don't think we're necessarily control enough. We're not full of counter spells.
Yeah.
That we're gonna want somewhere to put our 2 mana.
I think just more interaction is more what our deck needs. We're definitely gonna be light on creatures for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. This is an interesting pick. Scholar of Stars is just not good in our deck.
It's not.
I don't want another one. We've already got 2 Anticipates. I think it's the Divination. It's not great. Our deck basically has 6 good cards, and we'll just draw them aggressively. I think that's our game plan.
Go to the Divination. Why not? If you can draw into your Patient Rebuilding, Gin of Wishes, and
I'm gonna take this Esper Island because this pack is bad.
Great, love it.
I was really gonna take the Totally Lost, but nah. There's an actual card for our deck.
Island Lake seems great. I was about to say, fucking time to take Totally Lost. How about Tolarian Scholar?
As much as I don't love Tolarian Scholar, I think this is absolutely a Tolarian Scholar pick. I mean, we have 2 Frilled Sea Serpent. I can't imagine a deck so bad that I need 3 Frilled Sea Serpents. Take this double cast and just absolutely not play it. I think I legitimately play both of these Tolarian Scholars. And plus, I think that actually improves our deck significantly. Which is the saddest thing.
Is that it?
Yep, that's the end of the draft.
We did it.
So I hope you enjoyed our extremely long draft. That's all the time we have for it, so go away. End of the stream. No, I'm kidding, obviously. My god, it's suggesting... I guess maybe that's not extremely unreasonable. It's suggesting 3 mountains to go with our Highland Lake to cast every red spell in our deck. Now, while we don't need a lot of mountains, at 3, we will probably not draw them when we need them. I think it's closer to 5 or 6 is a realistic number, for the record.
Does it build your deck for you? I don't understand.
It auto-suggests lands, and this deck is, while we were going, anything I didn't want in the deck I was putting in our sideboard. So it dumps anything you put in your sideboard there, and puts everything you leave in your deck zone here, and then just auto-fills lands.
I see.
So... God, the Scholar of Stars is the saddest Scholar of Stars.
I mean, we have the Meteor Golem. And what's it called?
It's not a 0 chance to draw with it, but it's sure not gonna happen. Never.
For the record, that plugin does not work anymore.
Well, it doesn't work. I think it's... If I go into this mode, it might still work, but it works better during games than, deck building.
Yeah. It's not working at all
If you ever, look at the... Even during the draft, you can toggle between these 2 looks, and if you have it over here, the plugin gets so confused.
Yeah.
So, obviously, we want Gin of Wishes and Patient Rebuilding. Do we want 2 Frilled Sea Serpents and a Meteor Golem? I think we actually do.
Well, okay, so is what we have here the right number?
40, we need to cut 3 cards. I already cut our Butts Elemental. I don't want this card.
Okay. Yeah.
It's possible I should cut Wall of Mist, but I don't want to.
No.
I think I should probably cut either the Wall of Mist or the Goblin Instigator.
Really?
I think so.
If it was me, I would leave them both in. Having early game bodies.
Well, I mean, I appreciate the fact that they have purpose in the deck, but tell me what are the 3 cards you would cut if none of those?
I would definitely take out one of the Serpents.
Yeah.
That's just a lot of mana to pay for a thing.
It is, but I think they'll also be important mid-late game blockers.
Yeah, but if you draw them both early game...
It's also, I mean, another thing to consider is that our deck is real light on targets for removal. So, if we cut down to like basically like 2 major threats, then like some decks can just shut us down hard.
Yeah, that's a fair point. I mean, a Tolarian Scholar?
I'm not sure if it's better to cut a Tolarian Scholar or knock a.
Or the Ogre. Yeah, fuck the Ogre.
I mean, the Ogre's not great, but it can trade up. I just don't know how often that matters. I don't feel like it's extremely often. But, like, I feel like I'd rather have all 3 of these than, like, Goblin Instigator.
Alright. I mean, do we want to cut one of the Anticipates?
That's an interesting question. We do have Double Omen Speaker, Sift, Divination. Yeah, maybe that's... Yeah. That seems reasonable.
And then...
I think I still want the Manolith, even though it's not splashing anything, just as an accelerator.
Yeah. I would vote for...
It's possible it's still one of the 3 drops.
What's your last cut? You need one more,
right?
There
should be one more. I'll check that. Yeah.
Cut a Tolarian Scholar and hedge your bets. Then you got an Ogre and a Scholar.
Sure, and then we can compare notes on every time that we're sad that we have the Ogre instead of the Scholar, which will somehow be all of them.
Yep.
And then we'll go into lands. And I'm going to cut... I think I'm going to cut 3 islands. That should be 40, yeah? I think 6 red sources is good. We don't have any double red. We have Manolith. But I think I think 11 islands should be enough to get us the like double blue on these cards when we need them. The Djinn, the Patient Rebuilding, and the Frilled Serpent. And some amount of the time we'll play Surge Mare on 2, and sometimes 3 or 4, and it'll probably still be good most of the time.
Yeah, I think this is fine. I think if it were me, I would probably play 4 mountains, but
I do have a tendency to hedge a little bit more towards the splash color, but I feel like 5 is still like quite few lands in the whole deck.
Yeah. Like,
because I'm me, we'll draw at least one of these games. We'll draw like 4 mountains, and it'll be stupid.
Can you like adjust your deck after?
You can
after
between games. So, like, we could, like, lose a game and then go in and, like, switch Tolarian Scholar back in or something. Anyone who's hanging out in chat, what do you think our deck's gonna do?
Yeah, give me the prediction.
I'm gonna say 5.
It makes me sad.
Like, we've got some really powerful stuff, but our deck's a little inconsistent. Because, like, if we had, like, some more red removal or something, I think I'd put us at 6 or 7. But I think 5 with outs to do better.
Yeah, we can do it.
Alright. I'm going to take that as you don't want to commit to an answer or agreeing with me. One or the other.
Yeah, no, I mean 5 seems reasonable.
Let's play
I think still we're in 5. Haggis still doesn't know magic.
Oh, when did our symbol change to a diamond beetle? This looks great. Our deck is weird, so this looks like a good hand.
Yeah, I mean, you got your cancel mana right there.
And I have Anticipate to draw into, like, red source or, like, Patient Rebuilding or something.
Yeah. What a weird deck we built.
It's pretty weird. I've played decks like this in this format before. Oh, that's not great.
That's not great. Yeah, can't cancel that.
Well, the problem is, like, that card is, like, deceptive in the fact that usually, like, 1-drops are really bad. But there's, like, enough things you can do to the bird that it's, like, surprisingly threatening. Although in blue-white, I feel like there's less shenanigans like that. In response to your attack, I anticipate. Yeah, I'll take Patient Rebuilding. That might not be correct, but we do already have 4 lands, and Patient Rebuilding is insane if it resolves. Well, we're not playing Enigma Drake anytime soon. So, hold up, cancel!
Got that cancel mana. I mean, turn 3 could be scary. They could have something.
They could. Not canceling that.
I think they can have the
They can have the Anticipate.
Have they missed a land drop? They haven't.
No, we
one
went
yet.
first.
Oh, okay.
They played a 1-drop, but we went first. Ah.
Ah. Bant.
That means that they probably have Arcades the Strategist in their deck.
I don't know what that is, but it sounds scary.
It's a Bant-colored Mythic Rare. I
Hmm.
didn't play anything. So I didn't have a choice as to whether I would cancel anything. Pass. This is the kind of draw that makes me think like 5 mountains, not 4 mountains.
Yeah, your point is proven.
But I mean, that's pretty results oriented also. To just
I mean, sample size is 1.
yeah,
It's
it's not great.
Well, he's not doing any combat tricks just yet.
I mean, if they pass again, I will just play the Patient Rebuilding. Good luck to them. If they play almost anything, I'll probably cancel it. It has to be pretty stupid. I'm not saying there's nothing, but like a lot of things I would cancel. Oh, I would absolutely cancel Vine Mare.
You certainly cancel the
5
fuck
power
out of that.
hexproof? No thanks.
Are you playing patient
Absolutely.
rebuilding now?
I have no reason to hold up mana.
Yeah.
They're even like tapped out, they can't cancel it. Not that they have 2 islands, but like now I'm gonna draw a bunch of cards and mill them and they'll die. All those things.
Yeah. You know they're gonna naturalize it like right now.
It's not unprecedented. Somewhere, I don't think this one's been posted yet, but I did a quick draft where my opponent just on like 4 consecutive turns played cards I would only see someone's sideboard in their like quick draft main deck, and I was like losing my mind. I was like, what is happening? Why are you just like naturalizing my things?
Was it like, did it like super fuck you, or were
It
you
was
just,
like pretty
fine?
bad for me. I think we won that game, but it was like really like way closer than it felt like it should have been. So we got a removal spell and a boar, and didn't draw any extra cards because none of those were land.
All right.
Let's scry some of them out.
Seems good.
Probably just take the Sift.
I mean, do you want the island to be able to play the sea serpent at some point?
I'd rather dig. I think I want to Sift next turn because I want to put a flyer. I want to try and get Mountain. Put this flyer out so that they aren't pressuring me anymore.
Right.
Luckily, I have a Dwindle for that. It does not look like I will be sifting next turn.
Yeah.
Oh, I got to draw a bunch of cards. That time I hit some.
I see that.
Also, I draw this card. Also, a red source.
Hey, this is going well.
But yeah, we're gonna dwindle that 6/6, I think.
Dwindle the fuck out of that 6/6, which is very fitting.
Plus, we can Surge Mare them. They can't even block it if they want to, so I'm gonna pump my guy. It deals damage. I'm gonna draw, take the action. Do we need another island? I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna be a little greedy and say no. We're milling them. We're milling them, Tech.
We're doing it. We're living the dream.
You didn't come on to co-host a stream to not mill them out.
No, that was my plan all along. Nothing but milling.
It is very likely that they have Arcades, is my suspicion.
Is that what's happening right now, possibly?
Possibly. I think he does only cost 4, but in this case, no. Alright. Then they will hit me for 1.
When does that enchantment like kill things? Wow, you drew some cards.
We're hitting some. Oh yeah, and we draw for turn. Let's not forget. Okay, so we're going to Omen Speaker probably. Like Omen Speaker, Enigma Drake seems correct.
Yeah, I think the Drake. It's time for the Drake.
I think it's time for the Drake.
There's also the Serpent. Don't forget.
Look. Yeah, but I want to get cards out of my hand so I don't like discard, and also they just went wide, so I want to have like answers for all their stuff. Oh, if we play the Manolith, we can still play Enigma Drake.
See, we were talking about Omen Speaker versus the Cavalry guy, and now you're like, oh, I can just like guys.
This is more or less exactly what I was talking about. Yeah.
And now you stop their flyer, so they literally cannot.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, I think genuinely, Omen Speaker is just like a better card than like Cavalry's a good card. Don't get me wrong. It's especially good in the red-white deck that has a lot of.
Yeah, I can see a red-white deck in this format.
Yeah, I mean, do you remember that uncommon that we passed? It's like make 2 tokens, everything gets haste and +1/+1. Like,
yeah,
the whole deck kind of works like that. So if you get like the right balance of those cards, like just putting two vigilance guys out is insane. So we're about to draw Gin of Wishes and have Sift and Dissipate and a bunch of, like, just everything. I'm not sure if we will mill them first or kill them first. Currently, milling looks like it's in the lead.
I mean, they have a lot of bodies. They have a lot of bodies in the way.
Yeah, but, like, we would win with flyers, so, like, a lot of these wouldn't be relevant blockers.
In my opinion, let the bodies hit the floor.
Seems like a good stratagem. What mana do we have now? 9. So I think we, like, Gin of Wishes and disperse one of their tokens or something?
Or you could disperse one of their flyers.
Yeah, I don't know that does that. And basically, just hold up disperse is sort of my thought. We also have the ability to remove a wish counter, but I think I would like do that end of their turn, probably.
Well, my point is that like if you're milling them, like you can basically just get rid of one of their flyers, essentially.
Well, disperse doesn't put it back on top; it just puts it in their hand.
Oh, in their hand, right? Sorry, excuse me.
That is annoying. That means I will probably disperse a token. The Colossal Dreadmaw is now a 1/7.
What does the angel do?
When it comes into play, all of their creatures get +1/+1 in vigilance until end of turn.
Yeah, you probably don't want to disperse that.
No. I do, however, think dispersing one of their tokens to Oblivion seems pretty good.
Yeah. Here comes the...
So what are they gonna give flying to? Yeah, that makes sense.
Is it one of the tokens?
It is one of the tokens.
I wonder what you're gonna disperse.
Yeah, it's weird that maybe I'll disperse the flying token. Maybe not. Great, that means Enigma Drake can kill a 3/3.
Seems good. Yeah, that seems good too.
Yeah, probably this guy.
I mean, it seems unlikely that they're going to be able to do anything having damage to your Jin.
No, they played out their land for no particular reason. Let's see. Do I do this? Then
why not?
I take 5. I lose one of the Omen Speakers, but I think this is the best balance of, like...
When is your enchantment triggered that destroys the...
When they block.
Oh.
Mill them. Thank you. Draw. Thanks again. Land. So we definitely have enough to Frilled Serpent and Dwindle. I think we dwindle the flyer?
Yeah, the 3/3?
Yeah. Just play this guy. No attacks. I don't really need to. We're getting quite close to milling them.
I mean, how many cards does mill per turn?
Yeah, it mills 3. They have 7 cards in their deck. So next turn they'll mill 3 and draw 1, essentially. So they have like 2. Wait. They've drawn 1. Our turn they mill to 4. Their turn they go to 3. So they have only this turn and next turn to not lose the game by killing.
That's pretty good.
Snap, chump, block.
Why not the Frilled Serpent?
Because snap, chump, block. If we don't think too hard about it, then we simply chump block. The answer is the other plays better. Shut up about it. Anake Ogre.
I mean, the Wall of Mist is...
Yeah, I'm super playing there.
Like the time is stall, right? This is the plan.
No, we're absolutely on stall plan. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Like mill the fuck out of them and hold up the blockers. Dwindle the other flyer.
I guess the other flyer. No, wait.
No, because you can block.
Yeah, that doesn't seem. This thing doesn't have first strike by itself normally, right? I'm gonna dwindle 2/2, I guess, just for the sake of like extra being sure that stuff doesn't kill us.
You got a Talarian Scholar.
Got a Talarian Scholar, bro. That would have been a better card much earlier on.
What do you think the Talarian Scholar's name is? Like, it's clear it's like some generic guy's name.
Oh, I don't know. I think it's something hipster. Like, look at the art on this guy. Yeah, our opponent figured out their deck because their deck disappeared.
Well done.
Yeah,
well
we got to see. So hopefully after that game, you have some sense of like, right, patient rebuilding's a little better than it looks. Not that it looks bad, but it's like, oh, it just like wins the game and like draws you like 12 cards.
Turn 5 patient rebuilding is obviously
it's quite good.
It's real good. Now later in the game, but even then, I guess.
But it's there's something really interesting about the design of it to me in that it like mills them, but draws you a bunch of cards. But because it mills them, they still end up milling first, even though you're drawing a bunch of cards. It's like really aggressively designed for a mill deck. Haggis suggests that the Talarian Scholar's name is Michael spelled with a B. He does not specify where the B goes.
And he also didn't include it in his spelling.
Exactly. I think this is a keep. So we've got both colors. We only have 2 lands, but we have manaliths. So if we get a 3rd land, then we go up to 4 mana automatically. We have Dwindle and Disperse and like Gin of Wishes. Like, it's a pretty good hand. I'd love to like trade the Frilled Sea Serpent for a land, but I think the average 6 is probably a little worse than this. Also, we get to draw first, because our opponent is going first, which means we're more likely to draw lands when we need them. Or by the time we need them. Ah, cute. Oh, our opponent's name now is LM. It's like Alex, but with an F. Another Rustwing Falcon, eh? Black-white also... That's weird. Like, Rustwing Falcon is usually scariest in red-white or green-white, and we've seen it in only not that. Mono not that.
Here's that other land we needed.
I guess we hope to draw another land over the next 2 turns so we can, like, Manalith Gin of Wishes, but, like, they're not doing a ton to us.
What are you doing next turn, Manalith?
Manalith, probably. Do I bounce this? Do I bounce something?
Yeah, you probably bounce something.
They're being aggressive enough that despite the fact that this is, like, pretty bad value, I think I just, like, don't want them to, like, randomly kill me. Yeah. But I think I'm gonna do it to... Oh, the flyer only costs 1 mana, sure.
Yeah. The flyer is definitely not the right choice, unfortunately. There's another land like you wanted.
Yeah, I mean, we're straight on track to draw 4 mountains in a single game.
Yeah.
Sure.
Great.
Take 4. You play a skeleton. Can still play Jin. Dwindle doesn't look good against their deck, which is unfortunate because our deck's mono dwindles.
Yeah.
Okay. So the most likely tricks for them to have increase their power by 2. So if I block a 1 health thing, it probably doesn't get me. Let's block the flyer. This guy turns into a token. This one will probably kill my guy if there's a pump spell. This one comes back from the graveyard.
Yeah, and it's a flyer, so it seems like a good choice. Let's see the combat trick.
Alright. No, that's bad. I kind of wanted to land there.
Yeah.
And their draw has been, like, weirdly aggressive. I think I'm gonna dwindle there, too. Powerful magic.
You know they're gonna play a 6/6 this turn.
Oh, probably. I'll just anticipate into the answer and die regardless. Like, I think they've just, like, gone a little too wide for our draw. Like, our deck has draws that are good for this. Our draw is pretty strong. Wow. There you go. There's your thing. Yeah, Omen Speaker. That's the one.
Let's anticipate into anticipate.
Yeah. Also, our life total is now 3.
Yeah, we're effed.
No, I got this. Uh-huh. Okay.
Why you dwindle that
Hold
guy?
on.
What's your plan?
Hold on. Okay. Alright. Alright, we've lost the game. Oh, hold on. Johnny exploded. Yeah, our opponent just had a really good draw. Like, we would have needed a different draw to handle that well, but, like, we can't know that going into mulliganing. So, unfortunately, that just...
I mean, it was like 4 fucking 1/1 into 3/4 or whatever. Like
yeah, 3/4 flyer
like
that drains 3 life when it comes into play.
Yeah, an incredibly aggressive play. Another Johnny. Fuck you, Johnny.
Our opponent is Gildog.
Yo, dog.
Aren't you gonna ask what's Gildog? Oh wait, that one doesn't work.
All right. Do we get to see cards or?
They were making their mulligan decision. This looks great. It has Omen Speaker and Dwindle in colors.
Yeah, it seems good.
Similar to last hand, but without the sort of like sketchy nature of drawing a bunch of top. Seriously? 3 games
What
in a
the
row?
fuck?
Just mono Rustwing Falcons? I think I missed a memo that today is the day to draft all the Rustwing Falcons. Part of me hopes that we lose this game because our opponent only plays like Rustwing Falcons with all their mana every turn. Is this just the same guy we fought? I didn't catch his name last time. No, it was Alem, right? Wasn't our last opponent Alem?
Yeah. Right. This is the same fucking deck.
Super the same deck.
Alright, well, you got that Wall of
I
Mist.
do have the Wall of Mist. I think I Omen Speaker first?
Yeah.
Omen Speaker first.
Yeah.
Because it like threatens to kill their ground guy. I think I want one of these, but probably not both.
What is it? What is the other? What is that magic card? Is that just like your library?
Yeah, so I'm scrying right now. So it's like this is to show me in relation to the deck where the card is. Like the deck is the back of a magic card.
Yeah. Got it.
Excited about putting land on top, but I think I want. Pretty sure this is the same opponent, regardless of the fact it's not.
I mean, it seems, yeah, it's a little weird. Is the black-white deck just like a good deck that someone would like try to draft?
Yeah, it is, but like the reason you would do that is for like all the sweet life gain payoffs and the drain of like vampire neonates, not like because of Rustwing Falcon or I don't even know the name of this card because I don't see it very often. Cavalry Drill Master. Like, genuinely, the 2 games that we've seen it today are probably, like, the 3rd and 4th games I've seen it played in the format, period.
Right.
Is that land I wanted?
Ogre?
Yeah, I think it's Ogre just for mana reasons. Like, it doesn't do anything on the board, but, like, we're good. Hey, Demolition's back. Thank you for the host, Demolition. How are you doing, Demolition?
What's up, Demolition? What's new?
Our deck is sweet. We have Djinn of Wishes and also Patient Rebuilding. Very similar to that one time that we had Djinn of Wishes and also Patient Rebuilding.
What is hosting mean?
It means they're using their Twitch channel to show what we are doing. So people who follow them get, like, if they go to that person's channel, they see us. Or they see me and they hear me. Would you ever do face cam? I don't actually know your opinions on this. Maybe I should have put the land on the button.
Yeah. I mean, is that something
we could
that
like maybe do it. It would be certainly more complicated than what we're doing now. But like,
yeah, I mean, I
don't think we'd ever discuss because I know, like, for example, the Game Grumps who've been doing stuff like this for a long time, they are just like opposed to doing that.
Yeah, it's
I'm gonna attack with the 4/2 because they're likely to just spend their mana killing it anyway, so I might as well just like make them do it now.
Yeah.
I could hypothetically disperse my guy in response, but I don't think the ogre's valuable enough to like warrant spending the card on it. Yes, the voice is Tech. I don't know how many of our Renegade Constabulary videos you've seen, but he is my friend who I record those with.
Yep, that's me.
And we like mostly haven't dropped frames since those times early on, mostly.
No, it's been looking good. It's been looking real good. There's like I'm seeing like two magic boards simultaneously, one behind the other. So I'm like trying to figure
I
out.
was gonna ask. I was trying to think of a surreptitious way to ask if you were still like using the screen share, or if you were like just watching Twitch. Because like, if that was somehow the case, we should probably stop doing screen share.
I mean, I suppose I don't really need to. Oh no, it's still
the voice is currently through that.
Yeah.
But we can end the screen share without ending the call.
No, then I won't be able to see what's going on in real
That's
time.
true. That is true. I was just saying, like, if that had been the case, we should probably consider it. But I realize that is not the case.
The reason I full screened Twitch stream is so that I could like roll over cards and see them better. But now I like kind of don't need to do that. But I guess it's still useful since I don't know what Dwarven Priest does.
Demolition says he knew another tech from a past Shadowrun game that didn't end well. Well, that's how I ended up with my tech. He's the result of something that didn't go well.
College?
Yeah, I think college is fair to say. We spent a lot of money, Tech. I don't know about you. I don't know that that was money well spent, necessarily.
Yeah. Well, if you hadn't spent the money, we wouldn't be friends, so I say it's well spent.
I mean, it's true in that respect, but I mean, in terms of the educational value, the main thing you would, like, evaluate your... your college spending on. I'm really annoyed by these Rustwing Falcons. These games would be, like, super dupes easy if they just didn't have Rustwing Falcons. As it stands, they've been, like, mildly annoying. Because it's like, I just happened to not draw my flyers. Not that I have, like, a ton of them.
Oh, what's your next move?
Months did it say you were resub for? I can check that in a second. Daybreak Chaplain, results. Demolition, 11 months. Demolition, 11 months.
Wow.
Enter. My turn. You sure are drawing some lands. So, I think I'm supposed to attack with the Surge Mirror. The question is... Oh no, I can hold up the Dwindle if they get saucy. 2, 3, 4, 5... I do want to play one more land, and I'm going to attack with the Surge Mirror. So what this allows me to do is, if they try to, like, block with all their things, I can remove one of their guys from combat, so they can't deal 5 to my thing anymore. If they let it through, then I just, you know, get stuff. I suppose that's true. If they block with just that guy, I can't kill it without killing my own thing and they gain a life off the lifelink. Yeah. Yeah. One to go. No, we're... Have we ever figured out what we are, Tech? We know we're not a lot of things.
We're not friends, we're not a team. I thought we were business partners.
I suppose that we are business partners, yeah. You had 7 to watch Leviathan. Oh, 2 episodes left, huh?
I don't know what Leviathan is.
It's a show that my sister used to be on that has carried on since she has been too busy to be on it. Also, her medical leave happened.
Yeah.
Like, either between seasons or at the end of the first season. Ooh, I hadn't heard anything about her guest starring on it. I hope she shows up. That sounds like fun.
Yeah.
Hey, cancel. Our deck has so much like filtering. It'd be spectacular if we could like either draw a good card or draw a card that would let us draw good cards.
I mean, there's a lot of cards in your deck that could draw us cards.
Like most of the cards in our deck are good draws at this point, just like not any more lands. Like we don't even have like a dead like Wall of Mist. Onake Ogre's already dead. Like we've drawn mostly the worst cards in our deck, frankly. Can I cancel this?
You can cancel it?
It's
you
so
might have
stupid.
to. You're
I
12.
know, it's like as stupid as the 1/2 flyer is. If I don't draw some, I mean, I guess I could just dwindle one of them, right? I'm gonna let it resolve. This feels dumb. Can't we just bounce one up too?
Yeah, that's not a bad idea.
What they're like doing with their cards? Take it more.
This is a decidedly mediocre game, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, I think that's extremely fair to say. I'm gonna dwindle, like, right now. Actually, should I...
I think you need to divination.
Yeah, maybe I should divination first.
It's not an instant.
No, it isn't. I mean, I was thinking of playing it this turn, but playing it first probably makes more sense.
Yeah, because then you like have options. Okay, you can't play. Well, you can play the Talarian Scholar. So you drew your worst cards in your deck.
I think I've now drawn all the worst cards. I've drawn like almost exactly the worst half of my deck.
The Search Mare is pretty good.
Search Mare is good, but not on this board.
Yeah. I mean, it's holding a bunch of attackers at bay.
Yeah, I suppose. But, like, not any better than the other generic cards.
I'm surprised he's not attacking with the life gain guy more.
Demolition says he's been playing Metal Gear Solid 5 lately, and the helicopter call-in took out 15 soldiers on its own. So Metal Gear Solid 5 I've only seen, like, parts of. I haven't played myself at all, although I also didn't play any of the Metal Gear games on our channel, because that game has, like, weird controls, and I just can't deal with it.
So I got the Metal Gear when it was free, and I played it for a while.
Yeah, I remember that.
Really did not like it.
You know, I suppose we didn't talk about it. I remember I didn't particularly like it, but I was also like, I don't think I'm invested in this the same way a normal person would be. Because, like, I'm not about playing it, I'm about, like, the experience of watching it.
Yeah, I just don't think they know... Kojima wasn't involved in it in any way,
I think he did, like, story for it, but not, like, game development or something like that. These Rustwing Falcons driving me up the wall, TekAzurik.
Yeah,
I don't give two squats about you drawing a card off your fountain, you monster. I don't think I've seen the helicopter con. I've seen some weird stuff in that game. Lots of those. What's the balloon thing called? Do you remember?
Fulton Recovery?
Yeah, that sounds right. They're gonna bounce their bird at the end of this turn and hope to, like, draw a real card, and if not, like, cancel their stupid bird after all that.
Why not bounce it before it hit you? Because you were
Because then they
can
recast it, because it costs only 1 mana.
Oh, fair point. Fuck your bird.
Hates bird. Hates Falcon so much.
And
I'd like to point out that this bird has the wrong number of feet. Look at that, it has 2 feet. What is that about? What kind of 1-mana bird has 2 feet, Tech? Oh my god.
The wrong number of feet. How much do you like mana?
Not this much.
Wait, so Demolition, are you saying that it was Kojima's idea to have this, like, weird open world game that, like, had really no intro to the story whatsoever and gave you no sense of why the fuck you were playing the game? Because that's how I felt about it. Like, you start playing the game, and there's, like, kind of an MGS feeling opening, and then they're just like, okay, now it's not, but is open world? Like, you can go anywhere, but only these places. And, like, there's no story. Forget the story. I'm not a fan.
I mean, like...
Also, the gameplay just wasn't fun.
My feeling is, like, it's a good game. Like, it is a well-designed game that I just don't like. Because, like, it doesn't have the charm that, like, brings me to play, like, Metal Gear Solid. And again, this is sort of in the abstract, because I don't play any of the Metal Gear Solid games, because... Oh my god, is he gonna get another bird off this bugler? It looks for a low-powered creature in their, like, top couple cards. No, Gallon Cavalry I can deal with. Like, more Mayored ground guys I can deal with. I can't deal with a single 1/2 flyer. Deck is being ridiculously mean to me right now.
I love that you had to put that enchantment, the name of which
Dwindle?
I can never remember. Dwindle on the fucking 1/2 flyer.
Yep.
Is so
The thing
sad.
I like is that I could have canceled one of the birds, but opted not to. Took 2 additional damage, bounced the bird, and then countered it. That's what I like.
Hashtag value.
Hashtag real value. MP and the coins? I don't think I remember the coins. Oh, good.
Fuck this deck. What
I
is
don't
it
know.
doing?
It's being a real jerk butt. I should just activate Surge Mare 3 times and concede the game. Hint, if you activate Surge Mare 3 times, its toughness reduces by 6. You think you're flooded, Gildog.
He wasn't until recently. He was only
he was
5 mana
yeah.
for the launch.
Did we discard one? No, it's just like naturally drawn 10.
There's that Gown Cavalry.
Yep. Now we play the waiting game. I hear it always has prizes.
I keep wanting to call Gallant Cavalry Cavalry Captain, which is the name of a Decemberist.
It's the name of a what?
Decemberist song.
Really got the Decemberists on the mind. That was the concert you saw on your anniversary, right?
Yeah, I mean that's why I have them on the mind. It's just leading up to it, I was listening to their music exclusively, and then I saw them, so I've been listening to their music.
It seems like a mildly weird choice, just because like you know you're gonna see it, right? So like you could listen to other music leading up to it.
Well,
not that you're like incentivized to not. I just mean like I don't know that I necessarily think of that as a reason to listen to more.
Well, so you may not know this about me because I don't think it would have ever come up, but I enjoy singing.
Hey, look,
and I really
card that isn't land. Sorry, I got excited.
It's all right, and so I wanted to be up on all the lyrics that I might need to like be prepared for. It was actually really exciting. They played an entirety of one of their albums, which was like one of their best albums. So it was
like a new album?
No, it's from 2006.
Reached a semi-mutual understanding that their character is going to die. Semi-suicide charging the alt attack. Oh. Well, that sounds exciting, Demolition. I'm sorry for your loss.
So, are you going to win?
I think we're favored to win now that they don't have any 1/2 flyers. Like, I think our deck's way better at ground stall. We're just like not drawing anything that actually progresses our game in any way, shape, or form.
Do you regret wasting 2 cards?
That's acceptable. I don't care.
Never mind, I take it all back. I was gonna ask if you regretted spending 2 cards on that other bird.
No, I think without being results oriented, I do feel like that was the right play.
Right.
Like, I mean, think about it in a vacuum, right? Like, all we've seen from them is this derp. This board of derp.
Yeah.
The assumption that after all those turns, like, they wouldn't have played something worth canceling seems, like, ambitious, right?
Right.
So, like, it seems hard to peg the 1/2 flyer as their biggest threat without hindsight. Gee, I wonder.
Genuation seems good.
I should maybe play it. Can you retry the infinite life trick in a future match? I mean, we could build ourselves an Evra deck just for fun. I think in constructed it is less likely to get to a point where we start getting like quadruple digits of life, unfortunately. Oh man, I should link that one in the description of this one, because people who might come across this on the RC channel maybe haven't seen it, but that is a fantastic game of Magic, if I do say so myself. I made you watch that one, right?
The one where you like gained fuck ton of life.
Yeah, we like played the creature who like changes its power with your life total.
Yeah, that's probably one of the most fun games of Magic I've ever watched.
Yeah, Demolition took a screenshot, I think, of our highest life total during the match, and put it on the Discord. That's fine. That doesn't shut off my ability. So this is what he's been sitting on for 1,000 turns. I really hope he doesn't have an answer to patient rebuilding.
Yeah, that would suck. I mean, in black-white, what would he have?
Meteor Golem, a weird main deck, white disenchant thing that we saw a couple times and didn't take.
Yeah, here's a question. If you draw Meteor Golem, what do you target right?
Right now, if I was compelled to play it right now, target is easily Luminous Bonds on Gin of Wishes. I don't know that I necessarily slam play it if I draw it, though. Yeah, I made... As soon as we had the footage ready for that one, Devilish, I made Tech watch it in its entirety, even though that individual game is like a half hour. That's a good reactionary card. I'm gonna activate Gin of Wishes' ability.
What is the chances you're gonna mill yourself?
Not 0.
Okay, just pointing.
I'm aware of that, but like
you're at the point now where if you draw, what's it called?
Patient Rebuilding still easily mills them. I'm casting this. I don't know that I'd go out of my way to... Wow. How are there this many lands in the deck after all that?
What the fuck?
This draw has been abysmal.
Ugh. I mean, at this point, right, you've got to be optimistic. Because there's only good cards. There's no lands.
Well, I think we also, if we check our deck, I think we know, yeah, the bottom 3 cards of our deck are Island, Omen Speaker. So I don't think there's literally any land in any of these remaining cards above that. So that's a problem. See, this is the kind... I mean, we can electrify that. But, like, this is the kind of card that just this one drop means we can't sit around and wait for them to naturally mill out. I think we needed to be aggressive with the draws. Because, clearly, I mean, results-oriented again, but, like, this would have been poor.
Yeah. What do you do... When does the 0/3 trigger?
Yeah, it's a tap-activated ability. This is going well.
Oh my... Where did that land come from? This is not possible.
Be dead. So we've got 4 in hand, 2 on the bottom, 1 in the graveyard. That's 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. There are literally no lands that aren't on the bottom of our deck. That's annoying.
Seriously? Seriously?
Yeah. Seriously. Actually, you know what? I think I'm going to activate Gin of Wishes, because if we get Patient Rebuilding, I just want it on the field. Gets exiled. It doesn't even go back in the deck. I might as well put it on something.
Yeah.
This guy, I guess.
Sure. That feels like a waste of a card. That was
absolutely the correct play from him. Absolutely.
Really?
We're at 9. They don't know that we have a card that can, like, powerfully mill them.
Yeah. What a weird game.
This game is awful. I hate this game. Thank God!
There it is.
Ugh.
You know they're holding up like white cancel.
No white cancel. There's like 3 white counterspells ever, and none of them is even applicable here. There's Mana Tide, there's Memory Lapse, and there's one other that's really similar to Memory Lapse.
Alright, when does that trigger?
Our upkeep. Now I'm not sure we mill them before... It depends like how many... I don't know what.
I think you're in the position where if you draw more, like, cantrip cards...
I absolutely don't, like, draw any cards off of anything other than Patient Rebuilding. The problem is that I don't think Patient Rebuilding is fast enough, but the other problem is that if we hadn't dug toward Patient Rebuilding, we just lose this game. Like, I think this was just an unfortunately unwinnable game. Because look at our draw, though. This is statistically awful. Like, this is a really bad sample of this deck.
How it deals with having a large board, and now I see, and it's terrible.
I mean, this is not uncommon for Core 19. I suppose they've drawn a lot of lands at this point, which helps our... Oh, look, we still had a dwindle. It's gonna be close. No matter what happens, Tech, it's gonna be close.
Hey.
That's interesting.
Are you dwindling something at
any point? I think I'm dwindling this flyer they just played.
No. What does it do? It's a 1/3
It makes another creature have flying, which is a problem for us.
When does it do that? Oh, yeah, you're definitely lying.
I mean, like... The problem is they have enough, like, 2-power things that even, like... There's no good target for it, but, like, disincentivizing them to attack with that in some way is mildly helpful.
I mean, is Sea Serpent your win condition at this point?
Sea Serpent isn't fast enough, I don't think. I think they have gained and will gain too much life for it to beat them. Plus, that card they've been holding is reasonably likely like a 3rd copy of Luminous Bonds. Despite the fact that that makes their deck, like, totally insane. If we draw the Meteor Golem, it definitely targets the Luminous Bonds on a flyer. I don't think it... You got it, pal! You can have 2 islands, just so they match.
That was the most useless mind
It's
rot
one of the worst mind rots I've ever seen. I mean, they're still... Ooh, they're not attacking? They're really not attacking? That's so good for us, Tag. Don't hit any lands. No lands, please.
No whammies, no whammies.
Okay.
Alright, 1.
This is so bad. This is gonna be so insanely close.
Alright, wait, how many cards are in your deck right now?
4.
How many cards are in theirs?
8.
You're F. You can't win.
It's real close. It's unlikely.
I mean, you could... I mean, next turn you could double Sea Serpent them. Do you have enough mana to... How much does it cost? 7?
6. Yeah, it's 7. So
you can't even double.
Should we play the Manalith, can we? I think we're still a land short. Isn't that insane?
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11,
Play
12, 13. Yeah, you're 1 short. And you're not going to draw one of those for at least 1 more turn because the bottom.
Well, it depends on how many lands of theirs we hit.
Oh boy. This is the stupidest.
This is one of the
game
dumbest games of Magic ever played. Somehow we're not going to lose to life loss. That's the one thing I know for sure. Seriously though, I do believe it was correct to draw into Patient Rebuilding. Which meant, like, putting us, you know, potentially milling ourselves out, whatever. But, like, maybe we lose to life loss now.
This has been such a dumb fucking game.
Kind of hope. How many lands do they have out? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Well, we're not in good shape.
Yeah,
We're gonna, like, draw our whole deck this turn.
Wrath of God.
They might have it. There is one in the format.
Fucking Starstorm would be so good right now.
Demolition says, this was interesting follow, sad to see a loss. I think he said that last turn, but it's like, yeah, we all see what's coming. We're about to, like, deck ourselves.
Great. No, it's the best way to go out. Come on. Hit you for an amount.
The problem is,
No
even
whammies,
if we
no whammies.
block that, we still lose life to their stupid this guy.
Yeah.
I mean, I suppose saving the 1 life might matter, but I don't think it does. Our life total's low enough that we either, like, mill ourselves or mill them.
Oh!
Ooh, what does that do for us?
There's that golem. You can kill a 4/4.
Killed the 0/3. The 0/3 does more
Yeah,
damage.
I guess so. I mean, you're losing either way. He's at 28. The only way you can win right now is milling, and there are 3 cards left.
Yeah, but look how close
2
it is,
cards.
because on our next
Oh, no,
upkeep,
I'm
they'll
sorry.
go to 1 card.
There's 1 card left in your library.
We would need to hit, like, no lands. So I think the correct play... They drain us for... No, I think we're supposed to hit the 4/4. I think you're right. So they drain us for 2... But if I kill the 4/4, they have to do that now, and then their lifelinker can't do that, so they can only put us to... Yeah, we kill the 4/4. Yeah.
You lose the game as soon as you have to draw a card, right? Doesn't matter.
When you attempt to draw from an empty deck, you lose the game.
Yeah. So... Yeah, there's no way you can win. There's got to be at least 1 land left in there. You should have just gone all in.
No, because then I definitely lose. If somehow they've drawn a land and there's only a land as like the... No. They can have like no cards in their... No lands left in their deck at all. That's the only way.
That's the only way you Which would be fucking amazing. Don't get me wrong, but
I don't think it's possible. It's
highly...
like 10... Assuming that 2 cards in their hand, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Well, I don't know. There's a slim chance that they're playing 16, because their curve looks pretty low.
Actually, this could happen.
It's real unlikely, though. But, like, there's no way I concede or that I, like, attack all out for funsies. Like, there's enough of a chance that I at least want to see.
Yeah. Here's the thing, though. They're taking an awfully long time.
Oh, they figured it out. Now we can't.
What did they figure out?
That they can attack with the 0 power Pegasus Courser, give something flying, and we can't block it. Remember that thing we, like, needed them to, like, not do that they forgot about for, like, 8 turns? We still don't have an answer to this. Not without, like, blowing up the enchantment on one of our flyers, but if we do that, then we just die to their stupid guy. Yeah, there was just no way to win this game. What's the one that has infinite everything but is super expensive? Do you mean Emrakul the Aeon's Torn, the 15 mana, 15/15 flyer with protection from instants and sorceries that when you cast it you take an extra turn? Is that the card you mean? Well, we might still finish this by 7 despite our particularly long draft section because our deck is being a dick.
The draft part was the
draft part's always the most fun part. I'm pretty sure that people have talked about the analytics on, like, pro-level draft videos and how, like, viewership, like, tanks after the draft is over. I'm fairly certain that's consistent across, like, anyone making this kind of content.
I believe it.
It makes sense. Didn't we already play Mubasha? I feel like that was one of our earlier opponents. Alright, Demolition, have fun. This hand looks pretty good. Owen Speaker, 3 dwindles? Why not?
3 dwindles. And you got the Highland.
Yeah, and got the
so
Highland. I got both colors. And it's not like I have a turn 1 play to discourage me from Highland Lake. Or opponent Mulligan, maybe we'll actually win a game. They didn't play the Falcon! Tek, do you have any idea how exciting this is for me?
You should just dwindle every card that comes out until you run out of dwindle.
Oh, now they're gonna play the Falcon. They had to draw the they had to draw the planes to do it. Omen right. Speaker. I guess we want land. Ooh, that's ugly. Oh, that's real ugly. I think I bought them both of these.
Really? You don't want either of those?
I want them, but then we spend 2 turns without drawing lands.
Oh, yeah. I was thinking you bought one of them for sure, but I would take the other.
It's possible keeping Electrify is right, but I don't think so. Because we won't be able to cast it for 2 turns, assuming the card under Electrify is as a land. This is dumb, but I think this is correct. And we also have triple Dwindle. Now, granted, Electrify is certainly better against some threats than Dwindle is, but beggars can't be choosers when the choice is, you know, draw lands ever, don't draw lands ever.
Right.
So if this was one of our previous opponents, it does mean their deck has the 1/2 flyer. And I'm pretty sure we played Mubasha before. Yeah, it's the bad guy! I told you we played this guy.
Yeah, we have played this guy. Maybe there's only a couple people drafting it.
Considering that card was not a land, I stand by my previous decision. I should have played my...
apparently...
It was bad.
When Big Bang Theory is over, it will be the longest running multi-camera comedy in history.
12 seasons, you said?
Yeah, 279 episodes.
Yeah, that stands to reason. Well... in the land.
Dwindle?
Maybe. I might want to play the Scholar first. It's more mana efficient. And I will have 2 relevant blockers for the 3/3. I don't know if you know this one's ability. It taps a defending creature, basically, when it attacks.
Got it.
So, like, this way, if they attack, I can either block it for no effect or trade with it, either of which is fine by me. But if they put out something, like, pressuring to go with it, then I can dwindle. I believe Haggis has declared Big Bang Theory, The Legacy of a Sin.
Yeah.
Part of me is genuinely so like I can see in my like access panel like certain people who don't comment but still show up in chat by virtue of being uh, here on this page. And I'm not sure if I am like haunted by a bunch of Twitter bots. Because there's no way to know if they're just lurkers who just like don't feel like commenting, which is fine because I certainly do that on some channels. Or if like some nefarious thing is going on and just a bunch of names pop up in my chat and I just don't know. I have no way of knowing this.
Now are you
I
dwindling?
should probably dwindle one of them now.
The 4-3?
I feel like nerfing the stag is better. This thing is like one of the few things that can just like really run away from like a good control deck. So like making it so like this thing kind of sucks seems good. Next turn I can play Scholar and like threaten to double block the 0-3 with my like 1-3 and 2-3. Thus making it seem like worse for them to attack with their stupid stag.
I wish Dwindle was block or is blocked.
Yeah, I get why it's not. It would certainly be better if it was.
He's doing it.
Easy block. Oh wait, do they have a pump? If they have Titanic thing, my guy still dies. They have enough up for the pump spell in the format, so I'm gonna block the creature with power because if they have it, I want to like not take the damage. So here, how many? The only thing in my graveyard is that dirt guy. Then I'm gonna play this creature so I can like threaten to double block.
Who likes Tolarian Scholar?
No one likes Tolarian Scholar.
What's his name? Michael with a B?
Yeah. I assume it's still pronounced Michael, given the input of it's Michael with a B.
Mikeable?
Well, no, if you pronounce the B, then it's not Michael, is my point. Hypothetically. Wait, this doesn't make any sense. If you do this, then I just... actually... if they give that 4, they can only kill one of my guys? I think this is a good turn for this. They demonstrated not having it, and from this point, if they can't tap any of my guys, their attacks suck.
Sin's Toxin works.
Sure. The 2-power flyer.
You should dwindle it. It has hexproof.
Yeah, it has hexproof. That's the thing that makes it horrible.
Well, you got the 4-2 blocker.
I do have a 4-2 blocker. Remember that time we were like, hey, do we want 2 2-3s or a 4-2? The first time it's been relevant, and we want the one we have. So yay.
Yay.
They may have a thing, I don't know. Their deck looks a little different from the last time we played. I feel like this looks more focused than what I remember seeing before. This seems like a reasonable attack. I think taking the 4 last turn was definitely correct. There you go. That's the one. We found it, Tech. We found the guy.
Oh, there it is. Well, that you obviously should dwindle.
Yeah. God, I wish I had a 5th land. We'd do so much more with like a 5th land. That thing is definitely the biggest threat, though, so we have to start here. So we take 3 from their attacks, assuming they don't get an instant or sorcery to pump this guy for a turn. And then we can play Enigma Drake. If they don't do something else, we have to immediately answer. Okay. Right, that does that. So we take 4 this turn. Do we need to start drawing? Remember that time that we were like, should we keep not lands on top? We'd be so dead. We'd be like,
right. You made the right call.
maximum dead. F, man. F. I literally just want like a land to be able to cast this disperse while doing something else. That's all I want.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not even asking to, like, cast Meteor Golem this century. I'm just saying I'd like to disperse and do a thing in the same turn. I mean, next turn at least I can hypothetically divination into a land and hold up disperse. I mean, they still probably attack. Why would they not attack? Did they think I had shock? I guess shock would totally wreck them there. Let's cast divination. Now our Enigma Drake has 1 power.
Well, you gotta cancel
it. We can't cast it yet, but we're very close to stabilizing. And I think the rest of our deck is likely better than the rest of their deck. So that's good. And now we're drawing land, so like we'll play Meteor Golem like at the start of the next century.
They have played a number of things. And you can afford to disperse
I
now.
can in fact afford to disperse while casting most of the things in my hand that aren't Meteor Golem. Hey, remember that time we drew this cancel? GG.
You should cancel that.
Yeah, seems good. How many lands is this? Meteor Golem number? I think maybe we just blow up this flyer.
Yeah, because it's good, and it isn't like it can do other things.
Yeah, it can get bigger and threaten more damage.
What's your win condition right now?
Enigma Drake. If I destroy one of their flyers, I'm willing to attack with Enigma Drake. So I think the play is destroy their bigger flyer, attack with Enigma Drake. Because I don't want them to randomly just have any sort of spell and make their double block big enough for that to be good. So I think it's...
Yeah, I mean, they only have 1 card in hand. I
think it's this, and kill this guy. The great thing is, because I have Disperse, if they, like, present some other thing I, like, really need to deal with, I can potentially disperse my Meteor Golem and break that for, like, tremendous expense. Yeah, looks like they were just holding dual land. They probably have Arcadians. Now the question is, do I dwindle the 1/2? Let's see. I think we just play the Serpent and threaten to, like, attack with a lot of unblockable damage. Maybe we should actually, like, wait until Serpent's online to keep attacking with Enigma Drake. I mean, technically we win that race, I think, but it's, like, closer than it should be.
Yeah. They still are at 17.
Yeah, I'm gonna play it a little safer. Hey, look, they're doing their best impression of us last game. This person must really hate us because it looks like we're in good shape. Oh, that's a better dwindle target.
Yeah.
So let's start by speaking some omens. Okay, that seems like a good omen.
That's a good thing to know. Do they also know that?
Even though it's like showing on the top of our deck, that is not revealed to them. Do we play the land? I don't really see a reason not to. It's not like they're going to have ineffectual Mind Rot. So I'll wait another turn.
Yeah. And it still looks like cancel.
Yeah, it does. It's true.
But they're also top decking, so they're not really encouraged.
Yeah, I mean,
to, like,
there's not a ton they could do to play around it. I think that's fine. We've gone reasonably wide here. A lot of the stuff on their board doesn't actually do much anyway.
Yeah, I mean, another ground body doesn't do much.
Not really.
Why are they holding up? Why have they been holding up their 5/3 all this time? I mean, I know because of the ogre.
We'll just trade our 4/2 for it. They're hoping maybe they have some like weird enchantment or something they can put on it that like makes it more threatening or something. There's like a lot of stuff like that in the format. I don't know. Their deck seems to be splashing green, so it seems a little less likely, but there's some really powerful green enchantments. There's like a rare one that gives something like 7/7 and trample, and there's like a common one that's like, it gets +1/+1 for every forest you have.
How many cards are left in their
In
graveyard?
the library, you mean? 12 now.
Yeah, library. 12, and you've got 18, is that right?
15 we're about to draw one.
Why does... Alright, so this app doesn't work amazingly. It's saying you have...
Oh, that's weird.
You have 18.
Mountain... I suppose I can... How much mana do I have now? 6, 7, 8, 9... So I can hold up the Disperse while still spending 7 on this.
Seems good.
Is it gonna... I'm just gonna do this manually. I don't have a tremendous amount of confidence in the auto tap. It's done some real stupid stuff in the past.
Yeah.
It might just like tap all the blue sources and leave up only red, and you'd be like, why? Like, why would you do that? I'm winning 2 different ways, maybe.
If you win this game, I'm gonna have to step away from it and prep my gear for tomorrow.
Step away and what?
And prep my gear for tomorrow.
Okay.
It's just like get all the things ready and by the front back door so that.
Okay, so like not like a super long break. I wasn't sure if you meant like.
No, I just have to like go plug in some batteries and like put my.
I was mostly trying to figure out if I would like need to play the next game like solo or something.
I mean, you can start it without me if you want to.
I hope you made that note to yourself to watch the Han Solo Star Wars thing.
Oh yeah, I need to do that.
I want to play another guy. Now I have 10, so I could like 6 and 2 and Disperse. Yeah, I think I like 6 and 2 and Disperse better.
I mean, you're low enough on cards at this point that Anticipate isn't amazing.
But we could draw Djinn of Wishes. I mean, obviously that's not the point. We're clearly on track to kill them with Mill.
Yeah.
Rustwing Falcon, my nemesis! I hate this card.
Nothing but fucking Rustwing Falcon.
What a stupid draft this has been. Everyone just has like 8 copies of Rustwing Falcon. And our blue deck, for some reason, only has like 2 flyers in it. Awesome! Nailed it! Sweetie dee dee!
Go team!
Patiently rebuild. Draw for turn. Nailed it!
So good.
Here, one of these guys gets to... Let's see how it auto-taps this. We have enough, it should be fine. Real awkwardly, considering.
Yeah.
So this is the one that can't be blocked this turn. It should be slightly clearer, but this is fine. We're not close to being able to make both of our guys unblockable, or we could like threaten to like kill them both ways in the same turn or something. Hey, wait, we're like milling them out this time. Do they have the guy? Did they draw it? Rock's Oracle? Wait, what does that do for you? I mean, you're dead either way, but what does that do for you? Is it Arcades? Do they have Arcades, or are they just randomly playing Bant colors? Like, Bant is a weird combination to play in this format if you don't have the one Bant-colored card.
I mean, if they're like me, they would make stupid decisions, so they could very well just beat me.
I don't feel like you would make a deck like that very often.
I mean, if I had just a bunch of cards, enchant creature is a 3/3. I mean, that's not a terrible play for them. But then I'm
gonna disperse it though.
Sorry.
Taste it, you monstrous 1/2 bird with 2 feet.
And he conceded.
Well, we're getting somewhere.
All right, I'll be right back. Feel free to start the next game with that.
Roughly, how long do you think it'll take?
I don't know, 3-4 minutes.
Yeah, I'll probably start the next one just because we're like kind of running late anyway.
Yeah, go for it. Part of the problem is that I just have to walk so far because it's in the basement. I'm in the
Alright, guys, chat, it's just you and me trying to get our way up to 5 wins, and it's not going great. I maintain that the first loss to that black-white deck, I feel like there wasn't much we could do. It's hard to know that you need to account for such an aggressive draw without having seen their deck before. In the other game, it just drew so badly. Our opponent is Bean, presumably of the famous Kevin and Bean from the Kevin and Bean morning show that I listened to. Thank you for the luck, Haggis. It's another Omen Speaker multi-dwindle hand. It seems like a good keep. Oh look, our opponent went fancy and changed the art on their land. Oh, nice. Omen Speaker and then play Enigma Drake. Wow. That's tough. I think, as good as Djinn of Wishes is, I think it's probably correct to keep the Patient Rebuilding and hope to get the 5th land soon. I'm gonna try this. Aviation Pioneer. Oh no, they have a 1/1 flyer. But I have one of my flyers. Hoping to draw a land next turn. Or, like, the next turn after that would still be fine, since we still have to play the land in our hand. That seemed inevitable somehow. I will not block that. Okay. It's not a terrible draw. It's not an exciting draw at this very moment. But Electrify is something that we can cast that does good things. I'm just really hoping that we have untapped land next. Our opponent is also seemingly quite close to mono blue. Well, there you go. That makes me glad that I have deal 4 damage to target thing at instant speed. And we drew the untapped land, and they're tapped out so they can't counter our Patient Rebuilding? Oh yeah, that feels good. Let's start drawing some cards. Dwindling some things, I guess. Are they just like actual mono blue? Or are they just having a weird draw like our first game? What? One with the machine draws cards equal to their highest converted mana cost. Tokens have a converted mana cost of 0. I drew a free card. And a regular card. So next turn we could play Meteor Golem and blow up their Thopter, I guess. Don't really see a reason to do anything. I mean, I could dwindle the token, but I'm still at 17. There you go. Well, that's a good dwindle target. I don't know if we've come up against this before, but the Departed Deckhand dies if it becomes targeted by a spell. Casting an aura at something counts. Mill them, draw cards, hooray! Think we play Surge Mare, and we play Dwindle, targeting unblockable guys, so it dies. Great. Next turn we can Meteor Golem something, and in the meantime we're milling them. I feel like we're looking through like a twisted mirror. Like I feel like this is the artifact deck that we would have if we had tried to force artifacts. Because it's like mono blue and it looks a little unwieldy, and it has that same weird artifact rare that we passed. I think I'm racing your 1/1 pretty effectively, my friend. Yay, we drew some cards. I mean, like, do I Meteor Golem? I think I don't Meteor Golem this turn just because I don't have, like, the bounce spell to rebuy it. And they could easily have something more threatening than the 1/1. Like, it's not actually, like, close to killing me, really. You gonna counter this? That'd be fine. That is fine. No. Go down to 15. Oh, there's that guy. That's a decent dwindle target. That was weird. They attacked with those manually. If they had done an attack all and then backpedaled the other two, that would make a little more sense. Mill them. Free card. Draw card. Great. I mean, I suppose I could just, like, Meteor Golem the Gearsmith Guardian. Let's Omen Speaker first. Oh, we still have mana for that? That's gross.
Did you win?
No, but we're winning pretty hard. I don't want all these lands. We managed to play a turn 5 Patient Rebuilding after electrifying their turn 5 Gin of Wishes. Then they cast 1 with the machine when they're basically for X equals 0. So they spent 4 mana to draw 0 cards. I suppose I can just cast this as a blocker for a turn. Rather than commit one of my Dwindle or Meteor Golem to removing their 5/5. They're currently down to 11 cards. We are at 18. If only we'd played that Millstone deck. Also, I was saying that their deck looks like the, like, Bizarro version of our deck. If we had tried to, like, force artifacts in the draft, because they're mostly mono blue, but, like, they apparently have some red in here that I haven't seen what it's for, just these lands to splash for. But they have, like, a ton of cards similar to what we saw in the draft. They have a Sift, they have the 1 with the machine, Meteor Go. They have 2 1 with the machine? They have 2 with the machine?
They are 2 with the machine.
And then they're getting back Essence Scatter? I don't care about Essence Scatter. Are you paying attention? I'm milling you, sir.
I love how you will win every game with Patient Rebuilding.
Yeah, apparently that's my lot in life.
Your sole win condition is Patient Rebuilding. You are patiently rebuilding.
The thing that I like is that I will be mildly pressured by a 1-power flying creature every game.
Every game.
Part of me wants to play the Meteor Golem on the 1/1 flyer just for spite value. I feel like this is actually like a legitimate play.
I don't think it's terrible. I mean, there's a 5/5, but
so like this functions on 2 levels. Because 1, it looks like I'm trying to play around the Essence Scatter he just got because he only has 1 mana. 2, it lets me like actually like play this thing out. And 3, I have like I have that Disperse to get it back if I really need to at some point. Like, I also have, like, Dwindle to answer this thing. I don't care about your 2/1. That's acceptable. I don't care about your other 2/1. That is equally acceptable.
Wow.
I think you're going to anticipate.
Do you think they have that blue guy that cares about artifacts?
Scythe of Thopterist? I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah. Combat check?
Cancel if they do.
That'll be nice. Nope. They're just gonna achieve nothing.
I guess they're just realizing that they're, like, close to dying. So they're gonna, like, try and do something. Hey, I should cast Sift and just discard a bunch of cards. I think it's 7? It's fine. Past. There's a past turn toggle now. It's fine. You can draw more cards from your deck. It's acceptable. I can't imagine something that they could cast this turn that would be like relevant towards like winning the game exactly this turn.
Hey.
Fish is back. I did your phone and internet and it died. Oh, that's rough. I'm sorry to hear that, Professor.
What did you say? You were going to get to 5 and then lose?
I thought 5+ was more or less my guess. 5 is my primary with, like, it could win more, but I think this will win about 5. I'd like to get to at least 4. This deck is pretty good. I mean, like, we really got steamrolled that one, like, black-white game, but the other one that we lost felt like a really dumb... Like, we had to get so unbelievably unlucky to be able to lose that game. His hand is garbage! A mulligan.
That's fucking terrible.
Now they must make their mulligan decision, and then I will look at 6 cards. This isn't great. But going to 5 when I have, like, anticipate in both colors seems kind of weak. I think it's a feels bad keep. Definitely don't want additional island. Sometimes it's weird to think how natural the Vancouver mulligan has become. It seems so weird when they, like, proposed it. Well, that's not weird. We're finally against green-white, and also somehow finally not against Rustwing Falcon? Oh, it's blue-white. Lots of blue-white. Well, like, have you played against a non-white deck today? Oh, that's bad.
I don't think so.
Oh, that's bad. Gotta be Omen Speaker to, like, draw better cards.
Yeah.
So now they're attacking on turn 2 with a 3/3 unblockable. Well, it's something. Step up here. I'm going to bluff shock. It's not relevant. Jeez. Nope. Let's look at the bottom of our deck, shall we? You know the bottom 5 cards of our deck.
Woof.
At this rate, it looks like... At this rate, you're going to be able to go to bed soon.
I mean, I'm sad for you, but I'm also looking...
I mean, this has gone on, like, reasonably long. We did spend some extra time during the draft talking stuff out.
Well, the draft is the most fun part.
Definitely.
So, patient rebuilding next turn?
I suppose.
Have you attacked... Oh, yeah, you have. You've had some flyers.
Yeah, I mean, the problem is, like, our creature count's so low that we pretty much have needed our creatures to be on defense all game. It's possible that there have been a couple of times that we could have attacked a little more aggressively, but I feel like most of the times that we've really had reasonable attacks, like, we also had patient rebuilding out, and it didn't make a ton of sense. Yeah. So I need one of my 3 dwindles or my disperse. Like, real bad head. Oh
if
my
you draw
god,
one, do you play
Falcon.
it before? There's your dwindle.
Yeah, I don't know if it's enough. But hey, he's enchanted,
something.
so it can attack as though it doesn't have Defender. They need an answer to the Rustwing Falcon and the Sky Scanner. I think we still lose this game. Like, again, just like the black-white game, like, they just had a really good draw of being able to pile a bunch of threatening stuff on their early draw. Like, decks like this are really high variance, where, like, sometimes you draw the 1 mana 2/3, and it doesn't do anything for much of the game, and it's not very good.
You disperse the night now?
No, that's awful. Like, it basically doesn't do anything anymore. That just, like, lets them have their bad card back.
Yeah.
I think it's, like, play patient rebuilding, but, like, we lose, like, either way.
It's
like,
not looking
I don't
good.
think we have the room to play around, like, holding up disperse and, like, doing nothing if they do nothing. Like, we're basically dead no matter what. We need to, like, draw well, draw some, like, extra cards off of the patient rebuilding, and also have them, like, not do anything for a while, which is a lot to ask. It's a shame, like, this is genuinely a really good deck, I think, but, like, we've gotten, like, pretty unlucky. Like, sincerely. Like, I don't feel like the games we're losing are because we're misplaying. It's because, like, the top 5 cards of our deck are bad, and our opponent is doing garbage like playing Sigil Sword of Valoron after, like, attacking us for, like, 16 with their 1-drop. Okay.
So, like, what do you want right now? Do you want creatures, or do you want, like, removal spells?
I want flying creatures or removal spells.
You want your Drake?
Yeah, like Drake or Jin. And I think that's literally all the flyers in our deck. We did not see a lot of flying during the draft. There's a good blue uncommon guy who's like a 6-mana, like 4/4 flyer that scries 2 when it comes in, but like, we didn't even see one of those during the draft. We would have taken them pretty highly.
Apparently, the creators of Nintendo 64 and I have officially ruled that Odd Job is cheating.
Took them long enough. Why so soon? You got it, my friend.
Sword away.
So we go to combat, but before attacks, we bounce their thing so it can't attack and make the token. Take one.
Go team.
Really needed an answer to a flyer like this turn. Or maybe multiple. We have the outs to draw multiple thanks to patient rebuilding, but... Okay, alright, I mean...
You're
not immediately dead. Oh no, wait, we're still in draw. Or in upkeep. There's something about that has constantly tripped me up on Arena. The fact that it, like, holds you in your upkeep when you have, like, nothing to activate, but it only does that when you have, like an upkeep effect.
And if they put the sword on the Falcon, you don't lose your guy.
Yeah, they will make a 2/2. Which I guess isn't the end of the world, but it's not great for us. We'd still like to have, like, Cancel or another Dwindle or, like, Djinn of Wishes so that, like, if they just have a bounce spell, we don't randomly die. I don't think so. I don't think that's the case here because I feel like they would have just done it. That's interesting. Good for them? I don't know what they're going for.
Maybe they got a trick.
I think I just double blocked this, because, like, their guy doesn't kill anything. They could pump it by, like, 2. I guess that, like, gets our Scholar of Stars, but, like, we're not... Oh no, it has the stupid unblockable enchantment still.
Oh, that's what's going on. You gotta block the knight then.
Alright, the knight is attacking. That's fine. I forgot that the knight token attacks when it's so hosed. Could something good happen? Draw a good card? That doesn't exactly count.
Yeah. I mean, you can't block the knight.
Right. And if I can't, like, kill it...
You just lose. It's unblockable. They can deal 1 to you next turn and you have no answer to it, so game over.
I mean, like, there's some world where we figure out a way to get the Surge Mare to attack so we get to draw and discard and, like, find an answer. But the likelihood of that happening is, like, basically 0. I don't think we need to preemptively electrify anything, so we'll just attack with it, and then they'll block it, and then we're donezo. I mean, as awkward as, like, Dwindle is on something like this, it's not like we would have had a better option, you know?
No.
Again, like, I don't feel like we're like, misplaying. It's not like it's like, oh man, we totally got, like, blown out because we, like, didn't do whatever. It's just that, like, our opponents are, like, getting really good draws, and our draws are, like, medium at best.
GG.
Maybe he won't see the line.
Game over.
Taste it! got you so good. I got them so good, Tech. Did you see how good I got them?
You got them real good. Well done.
Man, that really sucked.
Well, this was fun.
Yeah, no, like that was still a fun draft. It feels like really lousy that like we lost to just like real high variance because this deck seemed pretty good. I mean, it wasn't like amazing because like I said, our filler cards are like pretty low quality. But hey, we got a pirate-themed red-black deck for playing because Arena works that way, and also we get to claim a prize of a pack.
Is it
Let's
a good
find
pack?
out.
What's the rare?
No, it's not a very good pack. 2 mana, 2/2
Oh, well.
can let you like tap, discard, and draw. So you have to discard first, and then you can like turn him into 4 damage removal on a creature.
All right.
So this was largely a successful experiment in that after like 20 minutes we didn't drop any frames. I think it was like literally that period of time was the only frames dropped.
Yeah.
Our deck was fun. I think even the games we lost were pretty interesting. Is the upside. I mean, with the exception of
I agree.
That first black-white one was just so fast it wasn't even like at least when we lost to the one-drop night guy, it was like, well, we got to dwindle him. Is that enough? Well, we drew patient rebuilding. Does that draw us answers? Like there was still some like sense of drama to it, as opposed to like that other one. It was like, I block and take 8 and die.
Yeah, it was fun. There was some cool stuff that happened. I really enjoyed seeing some of those cards.
Yeah. Also, now I have a
like
second copy of Patient Rebuilding for my collection. I put together a really bad mill deck for the purpose of having a bad mill deck.
That's awesome. I appreciate that.
But yeah, so this has been part of the ongoing affiliate anniversary celebration, which by the time we watch this is probably significantly over. I'm going to post... I think I still have this copied correctly. Here, Chad, here's the link for the Fan Friday poll in case you haven't weighed in on what we should play for our second Fan Friday. Last week we played Unavowed and it was really sweet. I hope that it doesn't pull like a hard 180 like some of the games in the past that have been like, this is a cool narrative game that suddenly took a giant dump all over itself.
Yeah, that would be sad.
But I think so far that's still in the lead, and I'm definitely excited to play more of that, but it's Fan Friday, so you guys decide. Other than that, thank you for joining me, Tech. I know you got to get up early tomorrow, so I appreciate you staying up and doing the draft, and this was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed doing this. I figured this would be good. I hope people have enjoyed. I know it's been like, for some reason, it's been like a week that a lot of people couldn't come out and make it, which is a little sad. But we'll put this on YouTube, right? The audio might be a little inconsistent, but I think this is worth putting up there.
Yeah, I'm definitely down to do it again now. I think it'd be fun. And we gotta get Cotillion on too.
Yeah. Oh man, can you imagine how long the draft section will take when all 3 of us are like putting input on it?
Drafting by committee.
You know what's fun? The deck master overlay, the thing that lets you like highlight and click or whatever. It has a mode that you can toggle on to let the chat vote for picks.
Oh, that's fun.
We could hypothetically do a stipulation where we just pick whatever chat says and then have to pilot it. I feel like we would have fun doing that, and it would not go well for us.
No.
But I don't know. Let us know if you guys are interested in that. Otherwise, I'm always inclined to just keep dragging on and be effusive about how grateful I am to everyone subscribing. We did get some... we got a gift sub for the professor today. That's very exciting to me.
Yeah. It will
never be relevant again. But she seemed to appreciate it anyway, and I appreciate you doing that, Haggis. So, yeah. Thanks for watching. At some point, we'll probably do some more of this. I don't know how often it'll happen. But it's been fun. Thank you very much, Tech. I appreciate your time. I've stolen your watch, and I hope your early workday tomorrow goes well.
Thank you. I get to sit in New York traffic.
All right. Vasco the Gamer
and
TekAzurik signing off for what I'm calling Wizards Coast to Coast.
I
It's
love
the
it.
idea I had a long time ago, like around the time we moved. It's like, if we ever did a magic thing, it'd be such an obvious name because we have to do it remotely across country. It's so good. Take
Night,
care.
everybody.
Goodbye.
Bye. Nope, this is all you can do.
Huh.
Is there fall damage in this game? Let's find out. Nope.
Maybe if we, He's so good at lifting. He's so good at lifting boxes.